Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to episode 4 of Marking Out Amongst Friends. Tonight we have a special guest joining the panel. This is one I've known for years. She's almost like family. Everybody put your hands together for Lady Great One, best friend of mine, Toya, is in the building tonight.
Hey guys, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I don't know what else to say really then. I'm just excited to be here, excited to talk to all you guys, and let's get it on.
Mills Lane-esque there. Definitely happy to have you. I've been wanting to have, if you guys have never been on the Game Runners before, matter of fact, follow Game Runners, shameless plug. Toya is one of our most active members, definitely an admin to the group as well, responsible for helping the group grow. Always great input on every topic, and I'm just so happy to have her on the show. This is just amazing right now.
Well, I appreciate each and every one of you and continue to support us and the Game Runners. And just let's go ahead and jump right into some conversation. I know we have Doc and the professor, correct?
That is correct. I was waiting for Jay Rich. I didn't want to just jump in there. Because it's a pretty deep ocean here. But yes, I am here. Very excited to be on Marking Out Amongst Friends and definitely ready to give some grades, some reviews. We're going to make some people laugh, some people cry, and hopefully we can make some people angry.
And I'm here as well, too. I mean, I got invited out here. I had to check my schedule. Chris told me my schedule was clear, so I made it out here today, flowing. And I'm just here so people can catch these reads.
I'm just happy that Lady Toya's not like most girls.
Oh my goodness. Here we go.
I'm sorry.
Here we go. This has been all day, ladies and gentlemen. All day.
I bet she's been waiting on that one. That one's been, he kept that one in the chamber.
I've been using it the last 2 hours, I think.
Literally. It literally started when I was ordering me some food, and I was like, yeah, I mean, this place has some coleslaw. And he was like, it's not like most slaws? I'm like, oh, God, here we go. And it just continued from there. But I mean, so far, really good.
It's that kind of night.
I mean, would you dare say it's not like most puns?
Possibly. It's mark out worthy.
It is marking out worthy.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and jump into this recap. We are in Mania season, the final pay-per-view before WrestleMania. Fastlane, WWE Fastlane SmackDown pay-per-view took place this last weekend. I thought it was a pretty good show. For those who were listening, last week, Gotti gave us a couple of predictions, which were pretty much spot on. The saying always goes, Gotti's got reads. Gotti read this one.
Hashtag catch these reads.
Absolutely.
Wow.
For this pay-per-view, for me personally, overall, I thought this was a pretty good pay-per-view. I would say out of a 5, I would give it a strong 4, actually. And I was going in there with very little expectations. The tag team, six-man tag of the pre-show, I mean, it's a pre-show match. It was what it was. But I think starting off the show, when we talk about Shinsuke Nakamura versus Rusev, very, very good match between that. Shinsuke did a lot of selling for Rusev throughout that match. And it was almost to the point where I actually thought that Rusev would pull it off. I think for any pay-per-view, that's the match that you would want to definitely start off a show with. I would give that match a solid 8 out of 10. Doc, how do you feel about that match?
I definitely gave it an 8.5 myself. A strong candidate for match of the night. But whenever you give your predictions, I just never know what to expect. Honestly, I mean, you gave Survivor Series such a low grade, and that's all I think about every time
I
you
still
start to
remember
give
that
it.
too. You gave it a
Yeah, like
5.
every time you give a prediction or a review, that's the first thing I think of. What is going to come out of this guy's mouth right now? Um,
It's
no,
the
but
break.
I thought it was a strong match. I thought the pre-show match was kind of trash. I can't lie. It was a waste of time. They could have just let Booker T talk for another 20 minutes, and it would have been cool.
So,
Yeah, it would have been cool. Even if they would have let, Jinder go out there and continue to say he was the number one contender and the champion, I would have been good with that too. I would have been good with that. I would have been fine with that. I don't know about everybody else, but I would have been good with that. 8.5 though, I thought the match was good. Definitely a lot of selling. But I think Rusev needs that push, and I think that's the selling. It was well deserved because he's a strong guy. So it's time. His time is here.
Wow.
his time is now.
Wow. Wow.
For everyone else's time, his time is it's up. But his time is now.
Exactly. You can't see him.
This match
Oh
is
Lord, let's not start with the John Cena stuff. Okay.
that's why I'm interrupting him right now. You can't do this. You won't do this, and I'm cutting you off right now.
You're cutting me off. You can't cut me off.
Woo!
Woo! Come on.
Get on. But I definitely will agree with everyone else. I gave it a 8.25. Solid match. What a great way to build Shinsuke Nakamura heading into WrestleMania. Not only that, but it allowed Rusev to shine. According to Pro Wrestling Sheets, it looks like they're going to do a big push with him after Mania, so I'm really looking forward to that. They also said the same about Ty Dillinger, but that's more of a toss-up kind of thing. I can't really take it more seriously anymore because they didn't take him seriously for a long time. But
You know what I
the
think
match
about Ty
itself,
Dillinger.
I mean, people hear me say, ring psychology a lot. I mean, it was great ring psychology, and it had everyone into it. And the fact that it allowed many viewers, including people on this panel, to believe that there's an inkling of a chance that Shinsuke may lose, it shows that they did their job right.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go ahead and jump in now. I'll give you guys a little opportunity there. So all I have to say is on this match, for me, it was a solid 8. It is Rusev Day every day. I am a huge Rusev mark. I think that he's gotten so much more charisma now that he's with Aiden English. No offense. I mean, I prefer to have Aiden English back with Simon Gotch and doing a whole quite manly bit that was much more entertaining to me, but whatever, it is what it is. The match itself was really good. I mean, Nakamura sold things very, very well. And I'm just going to go ahead and keep myself short and just say, hey, I agree with you guys. Everything you said, I don't need to repeat it again. So I'm passing the ball back to y'all.
Absolutely. So I guess we're all in agreement. It's a very good starting match. Everybody gave that an 8+. There, like I said, that's definitely the type of match for any pay-per-view that you want to start the show off with. Moving right along into the next match of that pay-per-view. This one was a shock to me and probably everybody else. Randy Orton defeats Bobby Roode to become the new United States champion. I for one was 100% locked on Bobby Roode winning this match. In my mind, I thought that this was a pointless feud. Of course, they're crowning Randy Orton a Triple Crown champion now. This was the one belt that eluded him, but outside of that, I really don't see what value that they're bringing with Randy Orton being the United States champion. Unless they're going to put him in line to have a short run and pass this off to somebody else not named Bobby Roode. I don't think that this is it. I don't see anything big coming from this. But for the match itself, Randy Orton usually has a lot of boring matches for me, so this one was another one that kind of shocked me on how good it actually was. I'm going to give this one about a 7, maybe a 6.5 on the match. A lot of close calls, and definitely a lot of it is just going to go to the surprise factor that Orton actually won. Let's start off with the Professor. We'll start off with the Professor this time. What do you think?
I gave this match a 5.
Woo!
Technically wise, it was sound. You know, you talk about two good ring generals in there who knows what they're doing. They're really not trying to injure anyone in there, so you know it's going to be a clean match. As far as the story, I wasn't really into it. Just like you said, it was nothing really there for this feud. Randy kind of inserted himself into it. And someone mentioned this before, but he was just so slow in the ring. And where I like the meticulousness of his approach to the match, I mean, it's a title match, and it was just slow. Like, it finally picked up towards the end, but then the ending became too long. We knew he was going to do RKO out of nowhere. It's just going to happen. We saw 2 spots where Bobby Roode was on either the middle rope or the top rope, and we're just waiting for it to happen. Like, and that's literally all I did as I was watching this match. I'm like, okay, when is the RKO? Granted, this is the only match I actually got wrong in the night, but I'm looking at it, I'm just like, when is the RKO's happening? As soon as it happened, I'm like, okay, great. Now we can move on.
That was me, by the way, who said Randy Orton moves so slow because he moves like a snail. His matches are like watching a 20-minute session of Undertaker walking through the ring. It's just it's ridiculously slow. Oh my gosh. Doc, what you got on this match?
So, surprise, surprise, I actually enjoyed the slowness. I mean, I expected these two guys, I mean, they're older, they're more mature wrestlers, so I expected them to have a technical match. Really, I only gave this a high score because of the post-match. You know, I thought, Jinder coming down and, taking the finisher, and then Bobby Roode really just destroying everybody. I felt it built Bobby Roode up to regain the title, hopefully at WrestleMania. I actually gave this match a 9 because of the entire story, the actual moves that were done. I thought everything was great. There were some spots where you could tell they were going a little bit further in some of the details, even with Bobby Roode stepping on Randy Orton's hand. I thought it was kind of like, hey, let's go kind of to the next level. But I just think it was a good build for WrestleMania. Hopefully the match is good. I gave it a 9. Looking at it, if I would go back, I would have probably given it a 7 if it would have just ended. But the fact that Jinder came out and they did the whole spot, I gave it a 9.
Wow.
Exactly.
I'm speechless on that one. Lady Great One, Lady Toya, what you got for us here?
Okay, being that like I am one of the hugest, once again, Bobby Roode fans, and I also thoroughly enjoy Randy Orton. To me, this match was about a 7.5. Yeah, I like the whole Jinder coming out at the end, and I'm wondering if this build will lead to a eventual heel turn by Bobby Roode, or trying to possibly, I don't know why they would do this again, no offense to what I'm about to say, but get Jinder back into a title position. Burn. But either way, like, I love Bobby Roode. I love the methodical slowness that Randy Orton did have in the match. Sometimes it was a little bit too slow. However, it's still a great showing from the two veterans. And yeah, like I said, about a 7.5 for me.
Okay. So fairly big. I guess everyone's averaging around a 7 on that one. So it looks like everybody, besides the Professor John Gotti, were pretty much excited about that match. Like you said, I really think that I could be more excited about Randy Orton if he was a full-fledged heel. Randy Orton is just one of those guys to where he's never going to be at his best at a face level, or even that in-betweener is better than just being an all-out face. But Orton's a lot better as a heel.
I don't know, but I also think when he was younger and he had those feuds with like Triple H and he was legend killing, I mean, it was exciting. He did more talking on the mic. He wasn't so slow. You know what I mean? But now the hair is growing back. I mean, maybe we'll get the old Viper back.
So do you think he'll go back to the legend killer type mentality?
I mean, if they let him start punting heads again, sure.
Oh my God, I missed that move. That made him elite, that one move to me. And when we started going back to the RKO, I'm like, you're taking away a part of his character with that punt.
That might have killed him. Maybe that's why
he killed his own legend.
Yeah, that's it right there.
Oh, I totally agree, guys. Totally agree. That punt was vicious.
I mean, I really like the marquee part of Randy Orton's career that I really enjoyed was when he was part of Legacy and he was really doing the whole, sick, psychotic kind of guy. Around the time he was feuding with like Triple H, when he, DDT Stephanie and stuff, like that was the best Randy Orton in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I mean, I just feel like the RKO has just become one of those, those things where it's like, oh, when is it going to happen? When is it going to happen? It's going to happen. Almost like in a scary movie when there's going to be a jump scare.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to happen. Oh, there it is. And then John Gotti laughs at it.
I do. I always laugh at scary movies. It's actually hilarious.
You said it right the first time. Funny movies.
Funny movies.
Yeah, man, that's a definite big part of him. And like you said, it just comes to the point where we're waiting for the diamond cutter. I mean, not the diamond cutter, the RKO. It's just like the diamond cutter when DDP was hitting it out of every position. He do a suplex diamond cutter.
He was so much more. I thought he was more creative. I think the spots that they do now are just so comical now. And DDP used to do he used to do the what's that move called? The TKO to the diamond cutter. Those kind of things. It was interesting.
No, it was basically the TKO.
It was, but I mean, that was just an example. But I'm just saying, it was interesting at the time. But jumping off the top rope, I think of course the most famous one is the one where Seth Rollins is going for the curb stomp, and he does the RKO. That was cool.
Yeah.
But that was one time. Give me one time and just let that go. I mean,
then the Evan Bourne shooting star into the RKO on the steps, right? That's up there too.
That was
pretty good. It's okay.
After the luster of it being oh wow, lost it. It was just he kind of just caught him, not necessarily hit him with the move.
Yeah.
Right. He's already falling. That's the thing. They're already falling.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean that's the one thing. You don't go to the air against Randy Orton. That's the one thing. That is something I said during the match. I'm like, Bobby Roode is going aerial, and it was just like Gotti said earlier. When you were going against Orton, the number one rule, you don't go to the air too many times. I mean, you're just hanging yourself out there, and I think that we all saw that finish coming. Moving right along to the next match. This one was a kind of a pointless match to me. I'm going to go ahead and just say my rating for this one is about a 5, maybe a 4.5. This one was the women's tag match. Becky Lynch and Naomi took a loss to Carmella and Natalya. Watching this match, it really kind of brought a little bit of the air out of the pay-per-view. It was botches all over the place. And the only good thing about this match is that Carmella comes away with the win. I think that she needed a win as the Money in the Bank to kind of put her more over as a serious competitor. But I don't like her winning with the super kick. I think there's enough super kicks going around, and we don't need to add another one. That's really all I have to say about that one. We'll start with Toya on this one. How do you feel about this match?
All I have to say is, girls, pull your hair up and square up. I know that's Sonya Deville, but still, I had to do it. Had to do it just one time. Botchamania. That was what that match was to me. I think that Carmella, I like her. I'm over her. Can we do something else besides a super kick? I hate that move. Only time I ever liked anybody doing a super kick was Shawn Michaels, and that faded away about a decade ago. Just to be honest. Naomi, I love her to death. I've always been a big Naomi fan. I love the athleticism, but in this match, there's just so many botches between her and Natty and Becky. I'm like, come on, ladies, y'all got to do something better than that. So to me, this match was about a 4 at best.
Okay, I can definitely concur with that. I agree. There's really nothing left to say positive about this match, even afterwards. Gotti, what's your take on this one?
I gave this match a 2.
Ooh,
Brutal.
This match was trash. It was TAS. Wait.
You missed the R there, buddy.
We know. It's an end joke. But this match was the absolute pits. Definitely deflated, as J-Rich was talking about. It deflated the atmosphere for the pay-per-view itself. I mean, there's one positive thing about this match, and everyone's gonna laugh after I say this, but I've been mentioning it ever since the match happened. This match made me want Bianca Belair on SmackDown. Because she needs to teach Naomi how to rock the ponytail and use it offensively instead of just getting absolutely owned. Like, that whole match, I'm just like, I want to see Bianca Belair. I'm on Twitter. I want to see Bianca Belair. On Facebook, I want to see Bianca Belair. Like, that's all I want to see now. So thank you, Naomi. You made me not want you to ever be in the ring again.
ooh.
Oh, man. I want to go that far now. That was a little rough.
I told you we're gonna make people mad. I told you that's just how this show goes.
This is just how it goes. I'm like Paul Heyman with this mic in my hand.
I'm crying over here, like, oh my god. She said Botchamania, and then he said a 2. Like, I'm just crying over here. I mean, the ponytail for the MVP. I was shocked that it didn't come out. I don't know if it's real or not, but I was just shocked either way that it didn't come out.
If that would have came out, I would have gave it a 10 if it came out. It would have been a 10 for me.
Because she was grabbing it as if she was worried about it. But then she couldn't have been worried about it because, they could have whispered like, hey, lay off the ponytail. You know what I mean? Like, hey, lay off of it, whatever. But it was kind of just like, yo, we're just going to grab this ponytail for 20 minutes. And then John Gotti's going to give us a 2. And I was just like, wow. But I gave it a 4, only because of the ponytail, honestly. That's it. I didn't really like the end. I do think that the Money in the Bank thing is going on way too long. I think I would have rather her cash in early instead of Baron Corbin and losing the way he did. Because if she goes to WrestleMania, like a lot of us are thinking, and, Asuka wins or whoever wins, and then she cashes in and ends the streak or whatever, it's going to be stupid.
If she ends the streak, that'll probably be the biggest travesty that happened in the past 10 years to wrestling.
It literally would be trash.
Okay, hang on a second, guys. I got a little thought on that. Now, what I would love to see happen, because it does not say SmackDown Women's Championship. Absolutely. It just says Women's Championship title match. Mm-hmm. So if, therefore, Nia loses to Alexa, Carmella could come in and take it just as easily from Alexa than having to go against Charlotte or Asuka for that matter. So I'm still baking in on a flip-flop, especially since they're putting the pay-per-views back together.
Yep.
And it would be good because because they're on Raw, right?
Yes.
It would be good because I think, eventually Big Cass is going to have to come back, and I think he's on Raw. So it would be good if they got back together because they really, really need each other, for real.
They
Absolutely.
But I don't think they date anymore, but they need each other, though, either way.
They broke up recently.
I don't even care. I think they need to be together.
Shoot your shot, Gotti.
I've actually mentioned this to Doc and even J Rich at one time that Asuka was going to go to SmackDown to compete against Charlotte. But B, since there's a long-lining trend of the women doing things that the men are doing, what if we have Carmella cash in the Miss Money in the Bank during the match between exactly.
Wow.
Because all they're doing is emulating everything that the men's doing. That's all they're doing. What's stopping them from doing the biggest heist?
On the reverse, though. On the reverse, then they could just set her up to lose so that Charlotte doesn't get pinned for Asuka.
Yeah.
Or Asuka doesn't get pinned for Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we already had multiple pay-per-views when that happened.
I'm kind of ready for Asuka to lose this undefeated streak. I think that it puts a ceiling. Undefeated streaks are okay, but they put a very low ceiling on a lot of superstars. And once people lose the streak, you really start to be able to get into character development, so to speak. I mean, we have guys that failed, sort of like, Ryback. I kind of liked Ryback, but after his undefeated streak was over with, it was like, all right, we don't know what to do with this guy anymore.
But I kind of said that 2 weeks ago when I said that they were building Asuka up to really be terrible. They're building her up to be overhyped.
Overhyped, bro.
They would. To me, Nia should be the champ right now, one way or the other. Like, you can't go through being the biggest person in that particular division and being physically dominant. And she's actually a pretty good wrestler. She does some really, really good moves. Almost killed Asuka on one of those last matches, but that was something completely different. But she actually is a really good wrestler. She's really not like most girls.
Oh my gosh.
I knew it. I was waiting for it.
All the setup.
I will say this though. WWE now runs the risk of turning Nia into the next Tamina.
Ooh.
And I've never seen her actually be good. So she must have been good at one point for you to say that.
She was.
At one point, she was really good.
I don't remember.
She was really good. I agree.
They never pulled the trigger, and now she's just in the background as the welcoming committee.
40-year-old rookie now. The 40-year-old kind of, why are you still here?
Did you think about it, though? They really dropped the ball, I think, on Bayley.
Oh, yeah.
Heck, they could have really brought Blue Pants up.
You always talk about her, too. You always talk about Blue Pants.
She was
always talk about her.
She's really just like Rusev Day.
I probably go that far.
All right.
Yeah, that.
How
right
dare
there.
you speak about the ravishing Rusev? How dare you blaspheme his name?
Wait, so what you're saying is that we shouldn't say that Rusev is T-A-S
No, nobody talks about Rusev.
Oh my!
Rusev Day is over.
It is.
It is written in the death note, and he has been rendered obsolete. Delete.
I'm just saying all right, fine. She has the same credibility as a Ty Dillinger.
Okay.
So far, I can give you that one. I can
That one I give to you. I'll give you that one.
I'll give you
But
that
you know,
one.
you already know what I would have did with Ty Dillinger. I really think they should have beat up Mojo Rawley, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn, and got him out of the Royal Rumble, and still left Ty Dillinger in.
He's
I
still going on about this too.
I really just believe that they
It's
really
been
dropped the
2
ball.
months and he's still going on about that part.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Hey, I can agree there. I think that they should have touched Ty Dillinger, let him have his moment, because they ain't been doing nothing else with him right now anyway. So
yeah,
I think Ty Dillinger is really still searching for his main roster kind of niche, though, because I think that he's used about 2 or 3 different finishers since leaving NXT, and I think he's really trying to find his own. Like, I think the one move that he hit on the pre-show this weekend was like something different. It was different from the tiebreaker that I had seen him use before.
Yeah.
I'd love for him to have a finisher. I'd love for him to be a heel. I'd love to have him a finisher that when he hits it, that folks would stay out for the count of 10, and it would kind of legit put whatever finisher he has over while still keeping the gimmick. But he doesn't have that. I don't know. He doesn't have that move yet that is just like, oh my goodness. And I think that would put him over the top.
A lot of people don't, though.
Yeah.
I don't know why I was just thinking of Double Team Dream against Cassius Ohno when he knocked him out for 10 seconds.
Because that dude is awesome.
Oh, I can't wait for him to get up there, but, you know, they're probably going to ruin him too. And that makes me sad. Let's move on to the next match, sir.
Yes, moving right along. The next match of the pay-per-view, we all knew this one was it was very little room for this match not to be great. But we have the Usos as champs versus the New Day, with Kofi and Xavier Woods, which it seems that every combination they put together, those three, when they put a tag team in there, they go out there and they still put on the show no matter which of the three that goes out there. But this match for me was, I know Doc said that the Rusev versus Shinsuke was the show stealer. This match, while not long, one of the shorter matches of the night, was definitely about to steal the show before the ending. Just the copying of each other's moves, the Usos doing the Midnight Hour, doing the Unicorn Stomp, and then who was it? Which one? It was Jimmy or Jay that did the Kofi Boom Drop out there. New Day comes out doing the Super Kick Party, doing the splash from the top rope. It was definitely a good match until the Bludgeon Brothers, love their theme, by the way, one of my favorite themes on the main roster, came out there and just destroyed everybody. At this match, I would probably give this one a solid 8.5 to a 9. For me, this was a really good match, and it makes me feel like this one's going to still carry over into WrestleMania, which WrestleMania needs New Day and the Usos on that card desperately. This time, we're going to go back to Doc. We're going to start with Doc. What do you think of this one?
I can't believe you just gave it an 8. Wow. This guy must have been smoking during this. Oh, yeah, am I on mute? Oh, wait. So, the show, not the show. This match was getting good. And then they, like you said, I think they knew it was going to steal the show. Even if they tried to be terrible, it would have been good. I gave it a 5. I think that it was starting to get good, and then the whole Bludgeon Brother thing. Don't get me wrong, what they did was impressive. I didn't like them slapping each other and stuff. I think that's where it got kind of wacky to me. I don't really like wacky. Hence my dislike for Dean Ambrose. I wasn't really feeling that part. The move set, I'll give them a lot of credit. We know that both of them individually are pretty good, but I mean, my goodness, Luke Harper is he's just something else. I really wish he would have had his singles run, but I understand that there's just not enough room for everybody.
So would you kill Baron Corbin's push to give Luke Harper a push?
Wow. No, I probably would kill Dolph Ziggler's push.
Oof.
Wait, Dolph Ziggler has a push?
I think so.
Maybe I'd steal his contract.
I think Baron Corbin deserves everything that he's getting. He really deserves to have that U.S. title. But I understand there's just too many people. I think the roster's overcrowded.
It is overcrowded.
It's time to cut the fat. Again, that's why I keep saying it's good that they're bringing more titles in, but the main roster definitely needs another title or two. Bring the TV title. I think one person on Game Runners mentioned the hardcore title, but it's like I told him, I was like, I don't want to see chair shots to the chest for 20 minutes.
Or to the back.
Or the back.
Yeah, I don't want to see that.
Kendo sticks.
Wooden ladders. I don't want to see that.
Yes, I ruined the Doc's perception of those.
Those terrible tables that they use these days. That's terrible. It's cardboard. Nothing but cardboard.
I mean, I just want to see someone get a staple gun to the head. Is that so much to ask?
So I guess you want to see fluorescent lights and barbed wire and stuff like that, huh?
It's just
Thumbtacks, maybe.
I mean, a hockey stick to their crotch.
Eh.
I mean, I'm not saying let's bring New Jack to WWE, but I mean, if you want to go hardcore, let's start off with New Jack.
Well, they got rid of Sami Callihan, and if you want to see extreme watching fracture somebody's eye socket.
Or for those that don't know about ICW and Defiant, which was formerly WCPW, you can get Jimmy Havoc, who they can definitely help pioneer and usher in a new age for hardcore.
But didn't he get released from WWE?
He was done with WWE.
Am I the wrong person? Oh, okay. I'm thinking of the wrong Jimmy then, because there was another Jimmy guy who.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. No.
Yeah.
No.
Jimmy Wayne?
No.
Jimmy who?
wow.
Okay, really, it wasn't that important, obviously, because I can't even remember the guy's name. So. Moving
Why
right
are you
along.
partnering on that one? Professor,
Yes.
what's your take on this one?
I agree so far with everyone else. The match had the potential to steal the show, to astound us, to, dare I say, leave us with a tear in our eye. But instead of a tear being in our eye, they spat in it.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, those that don't know, I enjoy watching some indie wrestling as well too, and primarily Young Buck matches. This match at the beginning reminded me of a Young Bucks match.
Oh.
Which is a good thing because it just shows how well that the Young Bucks are as wrestlers. And of course, the little mini rivalry between Xavier Woods and Kenny Omega, but that's besides the point. But the sequence of the moves was excellent. You mentioned one of the Usos doing the boom drop, Kofi doing the running hip thing into the coffin corner. They're both trading their finishers, Midnight Hour and the Uso Splash. Xavier Woods doing the super kick party. And it all went to naught when the Bludgeon Brothers came out. I understood why they need to do it as far as the storyline, but it just killed a potentially great match. So I'm going to give it a 4. I'm still going to give it its credit where credit's due for the sequence of the match and things like that, but I mean, the no contest, I don't like dusty finishes. I've never been a fan of those.
Understandable. Lady Great One, what you got for us on this one?
Okay, this one to me was going to be the end all be all show stealer. This one was on its way to a 10 from me, dare I say it, on its way to a 10. It got knocked back down with the introduction of the Bludgeon Brothers, so it came back down to an 8. I'm a little bit more generous with my scoring, I guess, in comparison to you guys, but I love this rivalry. I love the Usos. I love the New Day. And the Bludgeon Brothers, them putting themselves in, taking everybody out, actually showing that Eric Rowan is not just an idiot in a black sheep's mask. Or the crazy psychopathic gas mask, whatever it is he's wearing nowadays. I like that. Yes, it did get a little wacky, like you said, with them slapping each other and then like amping each other up. But this will be an excellent WrestleMania match. So you had to end it in a no contest because of the Usos finally getting a chance after all this time to be on the main card at WrestleMania. The New Day finally getting a chance to actually do something besides host at WrestleMania. I don't think it's been fair to them. Since nobody else brought it up, I figured I would. How they got pre-showed after pre-showed after pre-showed after Andre the Giant Battle Royal after being on TV for 5 seconds during actual WrestleMania, when some of the best matches that WrestleMania even had last year was on the pre-show. And I'm sorry, but Gronkowski didn't have to be on WrestleMania. That spot could have went to the New Day and the Usos and tore the house down. But
that's a good point.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
I just wonder now with the Bludgeon Brothers what they're going to do with the Authors of Pain. Because, I mean, they're all kind of the same.
I told you they're going to Raw.
So one team's going to dominate.
They can't have them.
Like you can't have, you know, two big body teams on the same brand. It just doesn't work.
So then what are they going to do with Braun Strowman? Are they going to let Authors of Pain beat up Braun Strowman?
Basically.
After he wins these tag team titles?
Basically. That's exactly what's going to happen.
That could happen.
Wow.
Depending on who Braun's partner is.
Well, that's just trash.
My question is, sorry guys, my question is, but who would you take currently and put them on SmackDown to give the Usos and the New Day some more competition, because they're not doing it with Breezango. They made the Ascension a joke. So really, who's going to go to SmackDown and give us like quality matches besides the Usos and the New Day?
Might be Sanity.
Sanity would be good. I'm curious to see what they're going to do with
because that'll introduce the Tornado tag using the 3 members of Sanity and the 3 members of New Day for, you know, the New Day was to get the tag team titles back for the tag team titles. I think that'd be a heck of a match.
I'm not really big on Sanity. I'll be the one to say it. I'm not huge on them. I like Eric Young. I like Killing Dane. I like both of them, really. I like both of them a lot as singles guys. But Sanity, I don't know. It just screams, to me, it screams like, I don't know. It just screams like the Oddities to me for some reason. I don't like them.
I mean, another team, I understand. I mean, I get what he's saying. I mean, another team that's kind of weird, though, is also like American Alpha. I mean, that's weird. Like, some people just need to be split up at this point. I mean,
I actually can't wait for him to get his singles run. He deserved one. And we're not talking about Shelton Benjamin.
But what is he going to do? Like, where are they going to put him? They going to put him on 205?
He's too good for 205, but 205 has finally started improving.
Maybe he goes to the UK?
That would be good. I actually would love to see that.
I can't wait for the Bruiserweight.
Him versus the Bruiserweight? Oh my God.
I
was going to say Tyler Bates, but yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Tyler Bates is the guy that does the head bunts, right?
Mm-hmm.
I never really understood that.
Let's go ahead, moving right on to the next one. This was another great match that I didn't have high expectations on, just because I thought it was somewhat of a throwaway match, and I didn't think that they were going to allow much to happen. But Charlotte defeated Ruby Riott, and by no means was this match a squash. By no means was this match underperforming. This was they really let Ruby Riott get a lot of offense in on Charlotte, and it really legitimized her as a contender on SmackDown. This was a lot of Ruby's moveset. the head smash in the corner that she does, that she does when she does continue super kicks in the corner. She has a lot of great movesets, and I really think that they showcased her even as so I can't wait to see what they do with this one. It was higher than what I expected to be. I'm not going to give it as high as some of the other ones on the card. I'll definitely give it a 7.5. But I'm definitely glad that they and I was more excited, more so the aftermatch when realizing that Asuka fulfilled Gotti's prediction and challenged Charlotte on that one. So with that one, we're going to move right along. Let's start with Gotti on this one. How do you feel?
This was surprisingly a really, really good match. I had very, very high praises for this match. I really enjoyed watching Ruby Riott get herself a chance to show what she can do. As you know, she also wrestled in Indies and was wrestling men just like Candice LeRae. I don't know why people forget about that, but whatever. But it allowed her to showcase what she can do, and it was just great ring psychology. It was great. You mentioned the head bump into the turnbuckle. She does that move all the time. The reverse senton was awesome as well too. And it leads to a new program going forward after Mania for Ruby Riott to now go for the SmackDown Women's title, which I will love. It's about time that one of these new factions, can have the title, and I think it'll be Ruby Riott who will get it first. Between the Riott Squad and Absolution. But I really, really enjoyed this match. I gave this match a good 8. I just didn't like the fact that they had all these little outside interference things that's happening. It lost a couple of points for me there. But other than that, I really loved this match.
All right. Doc.
So I think I got confused with this match and one of the other ones. I know I gave the other tag team match a 5. I think that was supposed to be a 4, and this match I think I gave a 5. And the only reason I gave this match a 5 is because although there was a lot of great stuff going on in the ring, it would have been good if they would have just skipped all of the out of the ring antics. I think with the Riott Squad, and it was just amazing how all of a sudden, it goes right back to the ponytail. It was perfect when she came out, and I was just like, "There's no way that ponytail could be perfect." She ruined it for me. No. So the entire outside antics kind of ruined it for me. And then I think my wife came in the room and she was like, "Man, it looks like those girls are just dancing." And I was like, "I guess technically they are dancing. It's theatrics. This is wrestling. It's sports entertainment. So technically they are doing a dance." So yeah, it kind of just brought it down to a 5 for me, the whole experience. Sorry about the ponytail.
Lady Great, what you got on us for this one?
To me, I like Ruby Riott a lot. I think she did very, very well against Charlotte. The match is, as a whole, as previously stated before, the whole outside antics actually did ruin this match for me. So this one is a 6. I was thoroughly impressed with Ruby Riott, though. I mean, for that to have been her first pay-per-view, her first match, like, in the spotlight, so to speak, and you're going up against, like, the queen. I mean, come on now. For her to do as good as she did, that alone, to me, was a 6. That alone sold the match. I'm ready for them to, like, see which one of them first will actually get a title. Which team will get a title between Absolution or the Riott Squad. And personally, if Paige had not have gotten injured, once again, Sasha Hater, thank you, Sasha, for that. Not really. But sorry, not sorry. I don't care. Sasha ruined that for hurting Paige to me because Paige versus Asuka, that's what I was hyped for. That's what I wanted. I think a lot of other people wanted it. But instead, we get Charlotte and Asuka, and trust me, I'm still hyped for that one too. Um, but I was thoroughly impressed with Ruby Riott. That's all I got to say about that one. So, a 6, guys.
Okay. A lot of different views on that one. I'm really anxious to see what Ruby Riott's going to do going forward. Moving right along for the main event. For this one, I actually really like this main event. I think I may shock a lot of people who know me. I may shock the world with my commentary on this one. I gave this match a smooth 9. It's between an 8.5 and a 9. We'll say 8.75 if we want to get technical. There was a lot of great spots in this match, but man, I will definitely give credit where credit is due. Oh, this is really hurting me to even say this. But Baron Corbin actually showed off in this match. I was definitely happy with what he did. He showcased all of his maneuvers. He was really taking a beating very well for a big guy too, without it making like overselling, which it doesn't sound like much, but that's very hard for most big guys to do on the main roster, is take a good beating without looking like you're overselling, but not actually not selling as well. It was a lot of near falls in this match. The only thing that was really a knock on me for this one is Shane inserting himself into the match again. Like he's been hogging the main event spotlight since he's become the general manager for SmackDown. I'm wanting them
Correction,
to go
sir.
ahead and put that
Correction, he is the commissioner. Daniel Bryan is the general manager.
Guys,
whatever position he has, right now he's number one contender in his mind. So that's the only spot of this whole match that I really couldn't stand. He ruined what was really a good back and forth from everybody in this match. Everybody got a lot of shine in this one. So I'll start with you on this one. What do you got for us?
Oh, wow. I get to go first on the main event. Oh my God, what the hell do I say now? I was so
It's the
busy
land of
getting wrapped
opportunity.
up and I know, right? Just all excited thinking about the whole Shane scenario, and I completely lost my train of thought. But either way, this match to me was really good. Thank goodness. I will say this: I've been a John Cena fan since the beginning. I've been hustle, loyalty, respect. Thank God he did not win. That was the biggest thing that I did not want to happen, and it didn't. So I was very excited. This match to me was definitely, once again, phenomenal. AJ Styles always brings it in. He always does a great job. Dolph did an absolutely incredible job. Cena, of course, his power, his name, just everything. Cena sucks. Let's go, Cena, whichever you want to say. He brought it to the table. My most impressed person, though, was definitely Baron Corbin. I will definitely agree there. I would have liked for Corbin to have won. I knew it wasn't going to happen. I would have liked for him to have won just because I don't think he got his fair shot with losing the Money in the Bank the way he did. Thank you, Cena. Not really. But overall, a solid 9. Solid 9 for me. Even with the interference of Shane O'Mac, but Kevin Owens did kick him in the face, and that was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Glorious, even if I do say so myself. Definitely. Gotti, what you got for us on this one?
I gave this match a 7. Agree with everyone so far. Baron Corbin was the highlight of this entire match. AJ Styles, just like everyone else says, I mean, he is truly the best. I believe, according to Dave Meltzer, he was ranked number 3rd as far as Superstar of the Year for 2017, so definitely well deserved. I'll talk about who the first 2 is in my final thoughts. I don't think people are going to be happy about those. John Cena starting off the match just, doing laying waste to everyone except for AJ Styles with the AA. I thought that was incredible. The story between Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, Sami laying down like he wanted to, and Kevin kind of just wanted to not have it like that. Definitely added a new dimension to things. The Doc isn't going to like this statement, but Sami Zayn started to show shades of his El Generico, the viciousness that people have been looking for such a long time. I think this match would have gotten a 9 had he pulled out a brainbuster.
Yeah. I would have loved to see that when they added in there.
All in all, though, it lost a lot of points because of the Shane, just like everyone else is going to say. Dolph Ziggler is just being Dolph Ziggler. He's just there so he can get paid now, which, more power to him. But, definitely a good solid 7. The right person won at the end. And, Cena had to find out what he needs to do since he couldn't be in the title match.
Absolutely. Doc, what you got for us on this one?
I give it 8.5. Obviously Home Depot had a sale on shovels, and John Cena bought a few for the beginning of the match. I was like, I didn't know if that was going to wait. Could you imagine if the match would have ended like that? Just him versus AJ Styles, and AJ Styles makes a mistake, and then all of a sudden he hits him with an AA, rolls into another one, hits him with another AA, and then the match is over.
The match would have gotten a -10.
Top 5, dead or alive, worst pay-per-view endings of all time.
Like, it would make Jinder Mahal's match as he was champion look like 5-star matches.
Oh, wow. But I can understand that. So, I thought the spots were great. I can understand why people would be frustrated with the whole Sami Zayn, Shane McMahon thing. It was kind of ridiculous because, of course, although I don't like Sami Zayn as much as I don't like Dean Ambrose, I think if I can kind of combine them together and fire them together, I would be okay with that. So really, if you want to ask whose push I would kill, if I would combine them together, I would kill both of their pushes and push Ty Dillinger or anyone else, anyone but them, because I don't like them. But
he's so serious too.
He's so serious.
But I think that Dolph. I'm glad his music played because I'm kind of getting tired of that whole blank thing that he's doing. That's getting old.
But it was old school though. It's an old school nod.
I don't like it. He's gonna fall in line with those other guys really quickly if he doesn't knock it off. I really enjoyed Corbin. I think Corbin is doing a great job starting to show a little more in-ring psychology. I do like what he's able to do. It's almost like he knows his limitations and he kind of just rolls on that. But as I mentioned before, and I think I mentioned this several times, really probably mentioned this on every show, being a good wrestler is really about being able to take a beating. And John Cena does a great job taking a beating until he comes back and hulks out. The old Hulk Hogan Hulk out, where you come back, you do your 5 moves, you say what you're going to do, eat your vitamins, say your prayers, the whole 9. I think he does a good job at that. I think AJ Styles also takes a great beating. And that's why the two of them in the same match is always exciting because they're two great people to take great beatings. When AJ Styles got beat up by Brock Lesnar for 20 minutes, amazing. What theatrics. It was fantastic. So anytime I see somebody get beat up for a while and then all of a sudden they just come back and win, usually it's a good match. I didn't like how easy the end was for AJ Styles. I wish it would have been a little bit more difficult, but I gave it 8.5. I thought overall the spots were good. I can agree Shane McMahon's involvement was kind of stupid. I think if he took a super kick, he should have just laid there and thought about it until SmackDown.
Wow.
So, I'm serious. I thought he should have just laid there and thought about it till Tuesday. I don't think he should have got up and pulled people out of the ring. I think Sami Zayn should have just won. I guess I can understand why he doesn't win. Maybe somebody else breaks it up, but not Shane. He should have took that super kick to the chin.
I mean, liked it. We kind of got our wish on Tuesday.
Absolutely.
So he's on a leave of some sort.
Yeah.
We'll get into that one. We'll get into that.
But I gave it 8.5 though.
Okay. I think a lot of high views. So overall, it looks like everybody thought this was a slightly above average pay-per-view. And definitely a lot of things happened to set the pace going into Mania. We'll go into some Mania predictions later on. But first, I want to shed some spotlight on some significance that's happened in WWE this week. That's not not pay-per-view related.
Wait, before you do that, so I gave this a 70%. I think it averaged out to about 70, 74. I think what really is going to hurt them going into WrestleMania really might be half of the women's division, I guess, because you're going to get Charlotte versus Asuka, we know, but I think not knowing what's going to happen with Alexa Bliss, not knowing what's going to happen with several people, and I think we even talked about it being a few triple threat matches and a few four-ways. I think it's going to be real redundant. I think that's the only thing that I would worry about for WrestleMania. But hopefully they can turn it around and make it good somehow.
Absolutely. I can definitely agree. I definitely hope they turn around a lot of what occurred there. It was above average pay-per-view, but it's definitely some work that needs to be done before Mania gets here on the SmackDown side specifically. But I want to shed a little light on what's happened this week. One of the major stories in WWE specifically that's ruffled a lot of feathers. WWE announced earlier this week the launch of the Fabulous Moolah Women's Battle Royal to take place at WrestleMania. I don't know how everybody else felt about this. I thought it was a cool idea when I first heard it. Obviously, I'm not one of the ones who knew more about what happened with Fabulous Moolah. So I thought it was a good idea going forward. I didn't think it was great. I think it was an okay idea. It was pretty good, but nothing specific. I thought it was just going to be the females' version of the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, which is not really a huge deal. But
which means nothing. Nothing.
Means nothing. But recently, and the data analyzing ninja himself can correct me if I'm wrong on this one. I believe that they just announced either today or yesterday that they are going to go ahead and change the name from that Battle Royal, from the Fabulous Moolah Battle Royal to the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal, barring the backlash from
you, the people.
Moolah and her back. From us, for all those that spoke out and against it about the heinous things that she did, I think that this was positive because it really it made fans feel like they can make a difference in this situation. Gotti, I think that you got the most info on this one. So, what's your feelings on the whole Fabulous Moolah situation?
But before he does that, I mean, he's the Professor John Gotti, the king of RNG, the troll master, the data analyzer ninja, the conqueror of his own destiny.
Thank you, Paul Heyman. We needed that.
He may continue on his reign of the people.
I feel like Brock Lesnar. I don't think I need to speak.
You really just have to curse right now, and then you'll be all good.
I mean, I could try to talk with a high-pitched voice like Brock does. I mean...
Oh, shots fired?
Shots fired.
Say whatever you
Shots
say
fired.
whatever you want. I guess.
So the news did come out today. It actually happened a few hours ago. Definitely was quick about putting it out there for everyone else to know. But the stories about Fabulous Moolah has been going on since about 2007, which was the year of her passing. I mean, a lot of the stories just show how much of a horrible person she is.
I don't
from
remember her passing. I'm not out of you guys.
They didn't really talk about it that much. In
Okay.
fact, I think they only mentioned it in passing on Raw after it happened.
Or her passing in passing.
Both.
God, passing in passing.
But, she's been, well, everyone's going to say accused, so I guess I'll just say accused. But she's been accused of basically human trafficking for sexual favors, extortion, taking pretty much the females of that time, their earnings, not just for the stuff that she's been booking, but as they're training. She's taking, a hell of money from them, making them pay for room and board as well too, like just taking them for every single cent that they have. People mentioned about the drug usage as well too. Many women had drug addictions afterwards. I believe Sweet Georgia Brown was her name, was the most relevant example that they used. There was the story about what she did to her own daughter. Her own daughter, now it sounds like Joey Styles now, putting her through the same kind of ringer, and it just screwed up her life basically. Her daughter ended up talking about her physical abuse, the mental abuse, the psychological abuse that she dealt with growing up with Moolah as her mother. And the originator, the innovator of the screw job, in which people did not know. I definitely had to help shed some light about things. I know everyone remember her reveal when she was Spider Lady against Wendy Richter, but that was an actual screw job finish. So before we had Montreal, we had Moolah.
It's funny you say that because as you were describing her in so many words, the first thing that came to mind was really she's just acting like a McMahon.
And that's why Vince loves her so much. And that's
so that
the
makes
point.
sense. So she did her best Vince impression.
Oh, she took it way further than Vince ever did.
I'm about to say
Way further.
there's no impression. She personified it and took it to a new level.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only reason we're talking about her. Could you imagine if Ryback would have took Goldberg's persona and actually ran with it?
Yeah.
Then he'll actually be a capable wrestler. I mean,
whoa.
you just laying him on the tee, sir. You're just laying him on the tee.
So I don't really know about the Fabulous Moolah. All I know is that her and Mae Young took a few shots to the face, went through a few tables.
Mm-hmm.
That was the experience I had with them. As far as, them previously in their previous lives, I don't know about. But it kind of, is similar to what we talked about last night on Debate Amongst Friends, which occurs every Wednesday night at 8:15 on YouTube as well as Twitch. I think when you ask someone something or you ask something of someone, it is their right or duty to say no. I don't think wrestling should put you in a position, or even your job period should put you in a position where you have to disrespect yourself. And that was a conversation we were talking about yesterday where the NFL owners were asking if players were gay or whatever. But if a wrestler who really sure she might be over you in seniority comes to you and say, hey, I want you to go sell your body over there for this ring time. I mean, I don't know if you really want to be a wrestler at this point. At least that's how I would see it. I mean, of course, that might have been a different time. I mean, they might have just been sticking people with needles at that time. I don't really know.
It was definitely a different time. Way different time.
Yeah, I don't really know, but it's just to me, it's like, I mean, maybe I'm just so free willed. It's like, yo, I'm not doing it because I don't want to do it.
I think those.
It's like enough is enough, and it's time for a change.
I think it's a different era. At that point in time, I think it's easy to say now that you just step away from that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if you want something so bad, I mean, a lot of people may be willing to go through certain things just to get that stardom. It says a lot, like you said, to your free will and others' free will who may think about this situation to say that, that wouldn't have been them. But also, there are also stories that come out for this thing that she drugged women and tricked them into doing this as well. A lot of heinous stuff has really just changed my opinion of Fabulous Moolah on reading all of her bad dealings and the practices that she had, and I just don't see anything but pure evil now that when I see her face. I don't know if that's fair or not, but
I mean,
she's like a super villain now. Every time I see that picture of her.
And that's kind of weird because it's like you hear stories today about like Alexa Bliss sleeping around with people to get to kind of where her power is today. And of course, we don't know whether that's, true or false, but it's like, could you imagine Bayley sleeping around just to get to the top? Like that would be ridiculous because of her actual persona in the ring, like hugs, the little things that flop around. It would just be weird. So for Fabulous Moolah, when you see that picture, I mean, I guess it's supposed to give you that vibe. I guess.
Well, if you think about it, one of the things that she even described herself as is the Fabulous Moolah. Moolah meaning money. So greed is a terrible, terrible demon.
That's true.
And that's exactly what she was all about. She was about greed. For her to own a compound and make her people who were in her training school live there and have to be chaperoned out and then pimped out to promoters or whatever, and then only teaching them the most minimal of skill sets so she would always remain dominant. That right there is just, I'm sorry, a demon. That right there is somebody who is just so narcissistic and egotistical that if she were alive today, I would punch her in her 90-year-old throat. I would definitely pull my hair up and square up and show her a couple things. You know what I'm saying? But it's neither here nor there. I can't do anything about it. I'm not going to go and piss on her grave. But it just, that's really what it makes me think. And it's sickening that she would have taken advantage of so many women like that. And until recently, I had no clue, absolutely none, about what she had done. I would always bring up in conversation why they always talking about Mae Young, but they never say much about Moolah. Now that I know, I feel like a complete idiot for even having thought of it.
Well, see, that's the thing, though, because it's like, with her demons, they kind of kept it in the closet. But, you even mentioned Chyna. It's like, oh, my God, the drugs, the porn. Like, even though most of the girls in the 90s and the, Cash Money Records in the 99 and 2000, I mean, most of those girls were on Playboy. They were doing wrestling specifically to get to Playboy. And I mean, it was just a matter of time before somebody took it to the next level and did porn because of their WWE status.
Mm-hmm.
And
at least she was paid.
Absolutely.
At least she was paid.
Absolutely. And not drugged and not bringing other people into it, not, forcing other people to do things based on their action, and that's the thing that's kind of rough about it. And I guess that's where the whole uproar comes in.
Mm-hmm.
That's rough.
Yeah,
thank God she went to those. I guess thank God she went to those tables. That's the only thing I could think of.
I mean, it was just, like you said, I don't like to believe a lot of the stuff that I hear without like there being an actual conviction or, you know, videotaped proof or things like that. So I mean, I don't trust a lot of stories, but just what everything that came out is just the Mueller story is just something where you can't not believe what's going on because there's been too many people that have come out for it. Even after death, there's no money involved. Nobody's going to get paid off from this. There's really no motive other than to tell the truth. Mm-hmm. And in that instance, why how can I not believe this?
True. I mean, and you think about it, just think about the situation on Twitter with Davey Boy Smith's family and Razor Ramon. I mean, you see when somebody starts talking about somebody's family, hey, if they're wrong, somebody's going to come out and be like, whoa, 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 don't talk about my auntie like that. Don't talk about my cousin like that. Don't talk about my mom like that. But I don't think nobody's come out, as far as what I can see. Maybe the Professor John Gotti might have seen something different. Please shed light on me because usually I'm wrong. But if they were saying something that was wrong, somebody would come out in her defense. And I haven't seen any defense yet. They're looking like the old Rockets out there.
Wow. You're not wrong, sir. You are completely right.
I mean, I'm just saying. I'm 2 beers in, so who knows what's liable to come out of my mouth.
Be sure to drink responsibly, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely.
For those out there, don't be like Doc.
Podcasting and drinking and podcasting.
Don't podcast and drive. You drink and podcast.
I'm just saying.
Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. But I'm definitely glad that a lot of people voiced their opinion over this situation and really made a change on this. I don't think that it was as significant as some people might like it, but I mean, it just goes to show that you do have power in your voice. And in this situation, I'm definitely glad that they were able to rectify it, not just rectify it, but rectify it as quickly as they did.
Instead of the night before the pay-per-view?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Technically, he could change it back the night before, and they'd be like, "Oh, it's too late. I already bought the tickets."
That'd be like the ultimate heel move.
Montreal. That's all I can say. Montreal.
No. Moolah screw. That's the Moolah screw.
The Moolah screw job.
Wow.
Literally and figuratively.
That's why I said
exactly.
Screw job.
I do think that's a good title of a show, though. You mentioned drinking podcast. I think that might be a good one. Put that on the list.
Hey, I'm always
You
down.
just made the list.
I just made the list.
I'm always down. I think we could compete with some other ones. I don't think there's but maybe one other one that I've heard out there like that. And it's not even wrestling related. So I think we're good on that one. We could be pioneers.
I really just want to drink and podcast.
Hey, I'm down.
Just saying. Yeah, I think that's. Yeah.
Definitely down for that.
Yes.
Sign me up again, fellas.
Yes, drink and podcast. We could do that on Duke It Out too.
Absolutely. All of the shows, debate amongst friends. Just throw alcohol all in there. See where it goes. Moving right along, we were talking about the Moolah situation and the changes that are made for WrestleMania. So it kind of reminds us we are in the home stretch of WrestleMania here. We are about 3.5 weeks out, about 3 weeks out from Mania here. So there are a lot of developing stories. WWE started hot right after the pay-per-view to jumpstart a lot of things towards WrestleMania. One of the things that everybody was predicting that they tried to hide very so and failed miserably was that John Cena was not going to wrestle The Undertaker at WrestleMania, and now we have a pitch for John Cena to wrestle The Undertaker at WrestleMania. What are your thoughts on Cena and Undertaker? Are you buying this one? Do you want to see this one or no?
It's going to be weird now because he's done such a great job, with the interviews. Like it's so weird. Like I really expected the Undertaker to come out at Fastlane, just to make an appearance and cost John Cena the match. But I mean, now it's just going to be like, I don't know. And I always tell the Professor John Gotti, the rest, that when they're showing the Undertaker working out, he's never facing the camera. So I don't know. That could just be, a tall white guy that's just lifting and he looks old.
Be extra sure about what you can say after that.
Okay, I'm sorry. So I would like to see the Undertaker facing the camera with 2 forms of ID, hurling a bar with 2 midgets that are saying "Rest in peace." In order for me to believe that that's him, because I mean I know he had the hip surgery, but he was squatting like 4 something.
Yeah.
And
but then again, he was 300 pounds. I mean,
Yeah, but you can't come back from hip surgery and just start squatting 400 pounds. I've seen people come back from hip surgery. I mean, I don't know. I mean, hopefully he's not on that list that Roman Reigns might be on.
You know what? I mean, when it comes to that whole list, and I'm just going to give a little bit of insight to that and leave it alone, I could care less about steroids in wrestling more than any other sport. Like, if there's steroids in wrestling, it's like, okay, it's not going to help you talk any better. You know what I'm saying? It's not true. It's not going to help you put on a better story.
That's true.
Get a better look out of it, but I mean, it's not really going to be a big deal with wrestling. The only thing that comes into play is the wrestler's health, which, I mean, that mixed with a lot of the drug use and alcoholism, I don't really think steroids is the absolute worst thing in wrestling right now.
And I don't really get it either, because when you think about it, I mean, I know most of the guys in the 80s, 70s, and 80s were on it.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Vince did it.
But I think that ultimately, because this is sports entertainment, it's almost like it's okay. Because, hey, these guys have to do specific moves, choreographed moves. And it's like, hey, they could have easily made this excuse a long time ago that it's okay. But I don't know if there's a specific guideline or a specific law that forbids them from using these type of drugs. Like, I don't know what the big deal is about them and steroids. I mean, I've never really read into it.
Benoit, that's the deal. Somebody had to say it.
For those that don't know, the video should be coming out tomorrow.
He keeps saying that, but I don't know. I think he's just trying to get his 60 minutes of fame.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, he's stretching that
He's
thing
looking
out.
it, boy.
Because I think if he really had some incriminating stuff, I would have leaked all of that. I'm putting the heat on Vince. If I really got
like
this
Paige,
much juice.
I mean, this is going to sound terrible, but it would have been a 30-day leak.
It would have been a Paige scenario.
Right.
Oh, God.
I'd have been
Clip by clip.
I'd have been counting everybody.
Which is bad because whenever someone mentions Paige, I put up a gif of the old NXT Women's Championship.
Oh my goodness. The freshly glazed NXT championship.
And I say nothing after that. All I do is put the gif on and everyone starts laughing.
I mean, but she got caught out there. I mean, and that kind of died quickly too. The whole releasing of the photos and everything. So think about how quick those photos released. And this guy's talking about a list. I mean, I don't know. I don't believe this list is as good as he says it is.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't change my opinion if any active wrestler in WWE is on that list. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I don't like him now because he does steroids. I'm like, well, doing steroids is not really helping you out, so try something else. It's more so my mindset when it comes to that one. Yeah, the whole Cena thing, the Cena Undertaker thing, I think I'm over Undertaker coming back. I think that he can pretty much stay gone. He's a staple of my childhood, but there's nothing for him out there. There's no viewing pleasure that I'm getting seeing an 80-year-old Undertaker go out there and have to be carried through a match by John Cena, who right now doesn't even really seem like he wants to be the guy anymore. So
I mean, but aren't you happy that I didn't suggest for us to get rid of the Undertaker? I know in past shows I've made statements such as, the Mister Perfect should have replaced Shawn Michaels, and I know you didn't like that too much. I mean, Undertaker. I think for him to come back now, I don't know. I think him. First of all, the streak might as well not have ever ended because it really didn't propel anyone. I think the streak should have been used to propel someone forward. But they threw it away, giving it to Brock, who didn't need it. They'd been better off giving it to Roman.
I agree with that.
So much better. Now he went 0-2 in the last 2 WrestleManias. Now you're talking about letting him basically.
As you guys say, 1 and 2. He got to beat.
But 1 and 2.
That's right. He beat Shane McMahon. He beat up Shane McMahon.
He beat Shane and Bray after Brock, so he's 2 and 2 in the last 4.
Yes.
That was terrible. I don't even remember those. That's how non-significant they were. But he still, I feel 0-2. I'm gonna say 0-2 because that's what it feels like. Those other 2 matches were really just whatever. But I mean,
in losers.
Yeah, exactly. He's in losers. It's like wow. Now you're gonna bring up John Cena. I mean, what's this gonna do for John Cena?
Nothing.
They'd been better off.
Maybe this is John Cena's retirement match.
They would have been better off trying to get Cody Rhodes.
That's not out of the possibility. But I will say this. This is exactly how I feel about this.
Hold on. There were some weird reactions there.
It does sound like some weird reactions. It sounds like somebody doesn't like the American Nightmare.
Yeah.
The guy who tells people to kiss the ring.
The grandson of a plumber.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
I had one of those huge collective sighs there only because he's just not entertaining to me. I'm so sorry.
Wow.
I'm so sorry.
Is it Stardust or just him, period?
I agree.
No, the only time I really liked Cody was when he was dashing Cody Rhodes. That was the only time I actually liked Cody. Otherwise, yeah. Sorry.
I agree. I certainly agree. And my problem with Cody Rhodes, it's not really with Cody Rhodes. It's a lot of the people who support Cody Rhodes, more so who show so much hatred towards, certain folks that are second and third generation people, but then they have selective vision when it comes to Cody. So I don't know if everybody knew this, but there was a very short exchange back and forth between Cody and Roman Reigns not too long after Cody was doing the whole American Nightmare gimmick. And, it was a lot of back and forth, and a lot of people were coming to Cody's defense like, Roman Reigns is just nothing but The Rock's cousin and blah, blah, blah. He's getting off on his name. And I'm like, well, Cody's dressing up as Stardust, and he's dressing up with blonde hair, and he's still using the name Rhodes, which I don't think any of that is really.
He's not using the name Rhodes. He can't use the name Rhodes.
Okay, so he's using Runnels now?
No, he just goes by Cody.
Oh.
It's the American Nightmare Cody.
Yep.
It's still terrible. But my thing is that Cody is not really the type of he's not a franchise-changing superstar. So Cody going to the Bullet Club was like Kevin Durant. It was like Kevin Durant going to the Warriors. You're like it's like people
careful about what you say after that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, Cody's good. He's really good, but I mean, on his own, he wasn't really doing much. When he comes to a place that's already like the top of indie, this is the cream of the crop in indie, and you're wanting to make a name for yourself, and you just join up with a group that doesn't really need you.
So just to confirm here,
are you saying that Cody is also ran?
No, just
also ran?
Wait, just to confirm, because we had this big debate 2 weeks ago. So now are you confirming that Ring of Honor is an indie?
No,
Oh,
Ring
that's
of
Okay,
Honor,
right.
just
is,
You
Ring of
did
Honor
say
itself
that.
is not indie
he
because
did. I'm just trying to make sure.
The Bullet Club is the top of indie because they do multiple federations,
Well,
so to speak.
those
So they're not
federations.
contracted under any of these places. That's why they are indie specifically.
I just want to make sure because you're teetering real close to bringing me back 2 weeks ago.
They
And
are under contract. That's why they
yeah,
are
like
there.
the Baldy brothers are in the WWE. You got AJ Styles. Who else is in the Bullet Club that's
Finn
in
Balor.
WWE?
I mean, but you're not in Bullet Club anymore if you're in WWE.
Uh,
You're still affiliated. I mean, they'll still mention the club every now and then, but you're not really quote unquote. They're not coming out wearing Bullet Club shirts every week.
I mean,
They're too sweet in each other. I mean, of course,
well,
just because they
a
know.
Hall of
Use
Famer is
each other.
gonna be a Hall of Famer that's going in this year was part of the Bullet Club.
Wow, he said they're too sweeting each other. It's hilarious.
I mean,
Okay, man.
the man name is JEFF. Ha ha ha. JARRETT. He was part of Bullet Club.
I mean,
Unless he was on the
people
Indies.
could really care less
so
whether
you're
if he's.
saying that Jeff Jarrett is an indie darling?
Oh my god. Oh my
You
god.
know? I'm not saying Jeff Jarrett. 'Cause Jeff Jarrett's all of his accolades did not come from the Indies. He's famous for creating TNA and creating factions. He was a multiple-time world champion at WCW, multiple-time Intercontinental champion. I think he's in the top 3 or top 4 of the most Intercontinental reigns WWE history.
8 times.
So I mean, we're not going to act like the
No, 6.
Indies are.
Sorry, 6.
I was gonna say we're not going to act as if the Indies are what put Jeff Jarrett in the Hall of Fame, or if his association with the Bullet Club is changing their indie status, so to speak. It's nah.
I just want to know. I was just making sure. I don't know.
It
It sounded like he
mean,
said
there's
Indies. I
another
don't know.
famous wrestler from back in the day who was also part of Bullet Club. The man named Meng, aka King Haku, was part of Bullet Club.
I'm just
I don't even remember that.
I don't know much.
We lost some fellas.
Oh, I'm just
I
having
don't
fun
even know.
trolling, so please continue.
I was just saying I don't know about that one. But I mean, the whole thing with Cody Rhodes. I'm not saying that Cody Rhodes is bad by any means, a terrible wrestler. He's a good wrestler, but as far as him being underused is the comment that a lot of people say when he was in WWE. I don't really think so. I mean, he was an upper mid-card wrestler, upper mid-card champion, and I think that he pretty much was where is good, or if not better, than what I thought he should be. I definitely didn't think that Cody Rhodes was world champion material at all, and I'll be the first to admit that.
And I think that's where I guess it comes in because, people like myself, I mean, I don't think Roman should be the champ.
Okay.
Doc, be extra careful about what you say after this.
I know. I said this in the beginning of the show. We're gonna make people laugh. We're gonna make people cry, and we're gonna make people mad. But I mean, I think the Professor John Gotti became RG the Troll Master's Data on his legend, the conqueror of his own destiny. He always says that they waited too long to push Roman. I always agree with that. And now it's like there are other people, a la Rusev Day, who are at the point now where they should be over and they should be going forward onto the Intercontinental title, the Heavyweight title, the World Championship, whatever you want to call it. I think they should be moving towards those belts. And there are going to be people like Roman, who are there, not necessarily because of their skill in the ring, but more because of the merchandise that they sell.
Okay, Dr. Evil. Let me go ahead and put my 2 cents here. Yes, I went there. Anyway.
Trigger.
Trigger! That was a good one. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay.
He's not sorry.
When it comes to Roman, who was it in the Shield when they first started? Yes, I had to bring it back up. Seriously though, who was it that everybody cheered for? It wasn't Dean and it wasn't Seth. It was Roman.
I don't even
He
like
had his
Dean.
son. What?
I don't even like Dean. I
What?
would have never chose Dean.
What? Exactly. Exactly my point. You never liked him.
So nobody hoo-ahed when he was spearing people in the Shield. We didn't do that with him. We didn't check the wrist and pound the ground before he hit the Superman punch when he was in the Shield. And all of a sudden it's lame when he was a singles wrestler and left the Shield.
Wow.
But we were all for it when he was in the Shield.
Thank you.
It was more towards the end of the Shield.
Yeah, don't push
they
the
started
maybe.
doing that.
This is what gets me right here.
If we want to be technical, I mean, I'm just listening. I'm just fact checking.
Okay.
You don't have to, Sarah. You can just jump in there and
I'm just
and tell all. Like, I mean, 'cause
I've already said my piece. Okay, everyone was cheering for Roman. You are correct, but I stand by the fact that they waited a year too late to make the push. The year that Bautista won the Rumble should have been the year that Roman won it.
But that's my problem, though. That's my problem because the year when he was in there with Batista, everybody booed and was cheering for Roman to win.
Yes.
But then those same fans turned their back on him the very next year when he actually won it. Everybody booed.
Because what happened at that time? He wasn't with the Shield anymore. He lost the luster of it, and now instead of him being looked at as a great guy within a group, now he's being looked at as one person who still uses the same song, who still uses the same gear.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
So now the microscope is much deeper on Roman Reigns.
And honestly, when I think about it, I mean, although I didn't know them, he might have been getting over because not only is he The Rock's cousin, but he's also in with two of, and this is just quote unquote because I really don't know, two big indie darlings.
Which I completely agree with, and that's exactly the fact.
Mm-hmm.
So Rock's cousin, and he's paired with two indie darlings. I mean, it's a recipe for success.
It is. It really
The
is. I mean,
Shield-
and
the Shield itself was specifically designed to protect Roman.
So I'm gonna stop you right there, sir. So in
That's
fact,
it.
the Shield was not
That's why
created.
That's why he still wears the vest. That's why he still has the song, because he is the product of the Shield.
I will sort of agree with you, and I'm gonna add a caveat to it. So the Shield was actually made without Roman Reigns.
Of course.
According to stories, it was supposed to be with Chris Hero, aka Cassius Ohno. But they chose to bring Roman in it because, as the doc said, he would get that protection from two people who know how to work in the ring, and he can basically get that rub.
Mm-hmm.
After they broken up, and this is where I'm like, okay, management is making Roman too dependent on the Shield.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he still has the music. That's why he still has the gear. So when you look at Roman now, the first thing they want you to think of with Roman when you see him is the Shield. The Shield was cool. The Shield was hype. The Shield was protected. Exactly.
Hey, you know the Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina commercial? The Shield is what protects you.
No! Chris, we have to cut the feed
Let
now.
me say this. Regardless of everything, merchandise sells. Roman Reigns will always sell because he is fine. Okay?
Wow.
That's one of the hugest parts to it. Hey, you got the female's perspective. You wanted it. You're getting it.
I love it.
I love it. Oh my God, he's fine. I never even knew he was fine.
Get him.
Yes. I mean, seriously. Why not? Why not have him as your poster boy? Why not put him on everything? Why not have him going for the title? He's good looking. He sells. Why did you have Jason Momoa as Aquaman? Hello,
I already have issues. I already had issues with that. So
I thought that Jason Momoa was a decent actor. I didn't know. Never mind. I'm sorry.
At first I was like, what the heck? Why is Roman Reigns on the silver screen of freaking Justice League? I'm not watching this stupid thing. Oh, wait, that's not Roman Reigns, but he looked just like him.
Wow. Thank you. That's why I had to make that correlation. Anyway, they're fine. Okay? You got to look good to sell. Why do you think Sasha is so over with y'all? Because she's beautiful. Yes, I'll give you that. She's beautiful.
Wait a minute.
I mean, Sasha Banks could look like a foot. Yeah. She could still wrestle.
She can wrestle. She can wrestle. I will say that. But she's beautiful, and that helps. Trish could not wrestle a fucking lick in the beginning. Excuse my language.
Okay.
But she was beautiful.
I can understand that one. Yeah, that's a little better.
That's a valid point there.
That's a little better.
That's a valid point there with Trish.
So like Sasha, like she's okay.
It sells. Sex sells. I'm sorry. Sex sells. Why did Carmen not get her push?
Oh, that's because of front office right there. That was front office and body shaming.
And turn around, look at Nia. Nia's gorgeous.
She's not like
gorgeous
girls.
I know you're
she's not nice girl, but she's gorgeous.
She is.
They're using that to kick off her new push that she's going into WrestleMania. They're using the whole body shaming thing to kind of push her face, and I really like that direction that they're going with.
Love it.
I love it.
They did the whole thing with Piggy James. Yes, they did Piggy James. Lay Cool back in 2000 and what was it? 10?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. Lay Cool. Simply Flawless. Picking on Piggy James because she was a little chubby. Mm-hmm. This is all over again, except Mickey's actually dishing it with Alexa.
And that's why I thought it was so great. I thought that was one of the main reasons why I thought that was so great. Just because you got the former who did that storyline who wasn't even really big. She was just body shamed because she was a little heavier than the other back at that time divas, quote unquote. But now you have Nia Jax who looks as though she struggles with this not just in the WWE but in everyday life. I follow her a lot on her posts on IG. I mean, it's a lot of, things where you can tell that she really does struggle with being that size and feeling accepted.
But sometimes I think that her outfit is a little padded.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong, she is a plus size woman, but I don't think she's as big as they make her seem. And of course, the whole TV thing, quote unquote, adding 15 pounds, sure. But I feel like the picture that was in the Game Runners group, and then you see her walking down the ramp, it looks like two different women sometimes.
I understand that. I really do understand that because myself, I'm not a skinny girl. I'm a thick girl. And yes, being in front of a camera, it does make you look way heavier than what you actually are. And there is no way in the world she is 272 like they keep claiming.
Right.
Oh, no, she's not that heavy.
She is not that heavy. There is no way. There is absolutely no way that she is that heavy. I swear, like me and her, we could trade clothes, and her 272 will not fit me, so to speak. And the damn sure doesn't fit her.
I think she's probably knocking on about 240, I would say. 240.
Based on the pictures that the picture on the Game Runners, like when I'm looking at it, I'm like, there's just no way.
Yeah, she's nowhere close to 300 though, or anywhere that they're trying to put her in that range.
But see, that's what gets kind of ridiculous, though. Yeah, possibly her. I could understand that.
Possibly Awesome Carmen. Nah, nowhere Nia is even close to 270. She's got to be like 240.
Oh, anyway, the conversation that we were having before I took us off on a wild tangent. I was going to say about the whole Cena Undertaker. Let me get back on that real quick before I forget again and take you on another tangent. The Latoya's Fun Ride. I mean, might as well use that as my new finisher. Shut up.
Oh.
But I was waiting for somebody to say that. That's why I did that. But
sure.
No comment. No comment at all.
Live TV,
hey,
moving on.
that fun ride got us to meet people at a certain location now, didn't it? Didn't it? Jay Rich,
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Pauses.
A little bit.
The
A
puppies.
little, a little bit. So,
But with Cena and Taker, I had said this before. I'm not sure if anybody who's listens to the Game Runners or looks at the Game Runners on Facebook. I am Toya Fowler on there. I said that Kid Rock got inducted into the Hall of Fame in Detroit. Kid Rock also did the American Badass Undertaker theme. Cena called out Undertaker in Detroit. There's your WrestleMania. It's going to be a last ride for the Undertaker.
And I would appreciate that. I would, possibly, if he could do it to John Cena. If he
Cena can sell it. Cena can help.
I'm looking at it as this is going to end up being Cena's last match. I've never seen the desperation from Cena that I've seen in the last few months. I mean, and you think about it, he's taken a few losses. He's lost to Roman at a pay-per-view, and I really think that they're trying to really knock Cena down a lot of pegs so they can make this thing be believable that if he goes to Mania and loses to The Undertaker, that could possibly be it, so to speak, for him. I mean, if not this, then how else could you really end Cena's run in WWE?
Injury.
Stop saying that.
Yeah, that's
They have an opportunity with AJ. They have an opportunity with Roman and AJ. They have it with Seth. There are several other people who can take that shine as well from Cena. But I just don't know how well Seth or Finn, for that matter, their merch sells in comparison to other people. Could you fact check that for me, please, sir?
I think that Finn sells pretty good merch. I see a lot of kids that get a lot of the whole headbands and everything from Finn, but I'm not sure. But I mean, I think that those guys have already gotten a lot of one-ups on Cena.
I mean, what kid doesn't want to get these hands shirt?
True, that could be the person to end John Cena. But he's in another storyline that they're building right now with the whole Raw tag titles. So unless they want to double up on Braun and have him do that and another match, I'm not quite sure.
So it doesn't really make sense. I did read an article because, I mean, obviously they could bring anybody into to the tag team match with Braun to make it believable. And I think in the article it said they could bring someone, who's been injured. I think that's why, I had mentioned a few people like the Big Show and what's his name?
Cass.
Big Cass, exactly. They could bring some of these guys back.
Drew McIntyre. That's my vote.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's exactly what I said. I said Drew. Or I think I mentioned off stream that maybe this is where they bring Gargano up.
Mm-hmm. Or Neville.
Or Neville,
that was the biggest one. I really like that one because Neville does look like a mini Braun Strowman, so to speak, with just the haircut, the definition that he has. And I mean, I just want to see Neville back on TV. He's just one of those guys where he could be a tweener, he could be upper mid card, or he could be one of those guys that you could throw him in a heavyweight title match and he could put on a show.
I think if Braun did the running power slam and Neville did the red arrow, I think that would be pretty good.
Yeah, I would definitely be on board with that tag team.
Yeah,
I would mark out.
Yes, exactly.
I would literally mark out amongst my friends.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think I would lose it too.
Yeah, that would be huge. But that's a really big that's exactly how you should do stories though. You hit them with something that nobody suspects, and then you get us speculating on. Well, now I'm interested. Where are you guys taking this a little bit? You know what I'm saying? The WWE has always been good with creating stories like that. The only
No,
problem is they haven't always been good with finishing stories
not
like
recently.
that.
They've been terrible.
I.e., Bray Wyatt versus everybody.
Right.
The
They've
eater
been
of
terrible.
pins.
Eater of pins.
But I'm thinking more so like
Or JoJo.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Bray Wyatt's the real winner.
Yeah,
man.
if you would have mentioned her 5 minutes ago, that would have been a completely different story.
Yes.
Skip Sasha Banks and said, "How do you think JoJo got to where she is?" Completely different story.
Sorry.
Her
Sorry.
daddy's also a famous baseball player too. So
I don't even know who her daddy is. Who's her daddy,
doesn't
sir?
matter. Doesn't matter.
I mean, see, there's so many.
Who's your daddy?
I
Who's your
could say
daddy?
so much after that. That could lead to so many other comments. Who's her daddy, huh? But
I don't know. You mean you can ask Enzo
According to right
about
now, it could
asking
be
that
Bray.
question.
but yeah. See now,
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
You got me talking about JoJo, and it just ruined my whole train of thought.
And her father's name is Jose Offerman.
I can understand why they never say her last name on air.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a horrible last name, and I'm
Nope.
from
Nope.
from one person with a long name to another. You got to cut that thing short. So I can definitely agree with that one.
It's not that long, but I can see what you're saying.
Yeah. But I mean, I think for the start, WrestleMania's got a couple of good storylines that have gotten me interested. I just really want to see how they play it out over the next couple of weeks. More so, really, with Raw than SmackDown. SmackDown didn't really kickstart anything. We did get to see the Yep movement destroy Shane McMahon this week. So more than likely we'll get something involved with those three at WrestleMania, which we already knew that was going to happen. We already know Shinsuke versus AJ is probably going to be the best match of that night. It's really going to hurt my feelings if that match does not live up to expectations. Right now, that's the marquee match for SmackDown at Mania. Everything else is really up in the air, as the professor said. We're looking like we're going to turn this into a triple threat Mania with all of the potential triple threats that could occur. Where do you guys think that they're going to go with the mid-card titles on both shows upcoming at Mania? What direction do you think we're going to go with Miz, Finn, and Seth first? That's my one that could potentially steal the show that nobody is going to be looking for there.
Well, I think either Seth or Finn's gonna win it to allow them to basically do like a best of 7 series, because they're the two of the best workers on the brand. Like, no one shouldn't, argue with that at all.
I can't argue with that, but I think that one of them will go to SmackDown. I'm not sure which one, but one of them is going to need to go to SmackDown.
I feel like they shouldn't go to SmackDown because of people that we've mentioned from Fastlane who deserve that push. And bringing them over into SmackDown doesn't really help them out.
No, but then you give that other person who deserves that push, i.e. Corbin, I would prefer to see him on Raw versus
Doing
SmackDown.
what?
But that's just me.
Doing what? Getting Superman
Doing what?
punched to oblivion by Roman Reigns?
No.
Well, here's
Just
the
because he's
thing.
cute.
Oh, shut up.
Here's the
You
thing.
know
man,
he's
like-
sexy.
He's got the moves.
To drive the
I know
girls
I'm
wild.
sexy. I got the looks.
I'm sexy.
I mean, Monday Night Rollins. I mean, come on now.
Wow.
But I feel like there's going to be a huge shakeup after WrestleMania. It's going to be some big names that are going to move from one show to the other. And I think that because of Brock Lesnar, the bad thing is that there's not been any attention on the Universal title with Brock Lesnar because he's rarely there. The good thing is that it forced them to pretty much now have to go to your main event guys to put on for the mid-card titles. And it's so great that the mid-card champion is The Miz right now because it's going to be a hell of a feud whoever you put in that. If you put Seth versus The Miz, hell of a feud. If you put Finn versus The Miz, a hell of a feud. WrestleMania comes, either of those two guys will win the title. Now you've got a big name with a mid-card title coming after WrestleMania, and you need that. I mean, one of the reasons I think that, and I'm just interpreting this here, one of the reasons why I think that Doc is so big on there being a return of like maybe a European title or a TV title is because they don't concentrate on the secondary titles. Everything is, oh man, this guy's good, he should be world champion. This guy's good, he should be world champion. This guy's good, he should be world champion.
That's all that is.
And nobody really cares about the mid-card title picture anymore. And nobody ever cares about the mid-card title picture until you get main event guys putting this title over. It's like one of the things, maybe one of the reasons why creative can't really do much with the guys they have is nobody is really putting on a show no matter what position they are. It's like, all right, it's a lot of guys that are just there until I'm getting back into the world title picture, and then I put on a show. But other than that, if I gotta be, feuding with this guy who's not really going anywhere, I'm not gonna really give it any attention. It should
Gotti
be like
has
that.
a question. Gotti has a question about what you just said. Gotti has a question for what you just said. So you said that the only way that the mid-card titles really get elevated is if a main eventer gets that mid-card title, correct?
Right, because what happens is that when they get it, then whoever beats them for it elevates that title and it elevates that star.
So let's talk about the curious case of Mr. Roman Reigns.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone but you, Roman.
When he won the U.S. title.
Mm-hmm. But he was just a spot filler for The Miz. He beat The Miz.
He's a main event guy.
Get the title right. That was IC. He beat him for the IC, not the US.
No,
Roman held the US title from he took it off of Rusev.
And what did he do with that title?
No,
spat on it.
But that's more so what I was saying about there's certain guys who don't really care unless they're in the main event picture. And I can definitely say that Roman does fit that mold. If I would say anything negative about Roman has this look of not caring really until he's in the picture of being a world champion or if he's in a world championship match. But in the mid-card, it's just like, he just looks like he's above that title. I think that's why John Cena said it in one of those back and forth promos that they had. It's just like, when I got the U.S. title, I elevated it. I put on an open challenge every week. When you get it, you feel like you're above it. And I think that not just spoke to Roman, that speaks to a lot of folks. It's just like for the show to be elevated, I hate to use a call center term, but everybody has to have the buy-in. Everybody has to be all in. If everybody's not all in, if you're complacent with your spot, and everybody can see you're complacent with your spot, it kind of spoils the whole division. That's why the tag team division needed to be revamped with guys, starting with, the NXT, starting with guys with the Revival, starting with American Alpha. These guys, a lot of other guys, they would be tag team champions but not really care. And these guys are really putting it on for the tag team division in NXT. The same with the New Day and the Usos. They're really putting on 5-star quality matches as tag champs. You got to be ready to go hard for whatever position that you're in. And I think that there's a lot of superstars who don't.
There's too many. It's too many people. So let's think about it like this. There are so many people. Let's use somebody at the bottom, for example. Tyler Breeze. Tyler Breeze has so much potential. I mean, the Prince Pretty thing was on.
Mm-hmm.
But they had nowhere for him to go by the time he got to the main roster. Like, there was nothing for him to do. I mean, absolutely nothing. He can compete with a shoe or a fly out there. I mean, even James Ellsworth got more burned than Tyler Breeze did at one point. I mean, the only thing that made him relevant was the whole Breezango and the whole the Files thing, Miami Vice thing that they've been doing. I mean, but it's like, it's too many people. It's almost like they're going to have to do some massive cuts somewhere or somehow. But it's like, who do you cut? I mean, the part-timers are gone. You don't have to worry about the Jerichos. You don't have to worry about Kane. You know, Big Show's taking a step back. You know,
Cena will finally take his back.
Yeah, they're going to get rid of Brock. I mean, it's only, but that's 5 or 6 people, but there are so many people. They have got to add more titles. Like, that's the only way to get more, to have it be more competitive and give some of the guys who are working up a chance, because if not, it's like, they're just going to be like, yo, I'm out. Like Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler's kind of caught, you know, as one person said to me today, caught in the sauce. I don't know what that really means, but it makes sense.
I knew where you were going.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like, he's stuck in there somewhere. Like, I guess you got to stir a little bit to really find him. But I mean, to me, it's like he's not going for the IC title. He's not going for the US title. He's not going for the heavyweight title. He's just going to put people over. This is where something like a TV title would be perfect for somebody like him, or somebody that's going to be on TV, you know, every single week.
And will perform every single week and not feel like it's above them. I will agree there.
Like a Rob Van Dam, like a Seth Rollins, you know what I mean? Because Seth was a champ for a long time. I mean, I think they had him and Jay Lethal doing the whole double champ thing for a long time. Then they did the same spot that Ring of Honor did. It was adorable. But it's like Seth fell off so hard after the injury. Finn fell off so hard after the injury. It's like, it's hard for them to get back up there to where they were. And now it's like, what do we do with these guys? Now we're talking about a best of 7 series, which we know best of 7 series leads to them being a tag team called The Bar. And they start quoting Toyota commercials. So I don't really know what else to really even, what else they have to do to get people over, because it's like, there's too many people. And at the end of the day, it'll all be for Roman.
Wow.
All of that to squat on Roman Reigns. The whole lead up to squat on the Roman Empire.
That's what the Professor John Gotti always tells me, and I used to disagree with him until, you know, I opened my eyes and just started looking, and it's like, Roman better not win this. How is Roman even involved in this? He's not even there. And then all of a sudden you look and you're just like, damn it, it's for Roman.
But he's fine. That's why he's fine. He's fine.
It's Roman. At least he'll be there every week with the title, and now somebody will get a chance to take it off of him. So think about it. We don't like Roman being champ, or the idea of Roman being champ. But now that Cena's gone, but now that Brock Lesnar is gone, you know, after Mania,
we want
now, if Roman has the title, he's going to have.
We want white hot Elias. Remember that?
But
he's not
white hot. And that could be big. What if Elias takes Roman out after WrestleMania and he becomes champion? You know, it's a lot that could happen with Roman with the Universal title versus with Brock with the Universal title. And I think that the thing that would irk me the most would be for Roman to go to WrestleMania and lose and Brock remain champion.
Well, that's not going to happen. Here's what I think, and I agree with everyone what they're saying right now, but this is what I think will help begin the healing process of getting Roman completely over. He's going to win at Mania. Like, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. Like, he's winning. Let's just stop the presses right there. But
unless they do what they always do and make him lose and then win it on Raw for free.
That'd be stupid.
It's always stupid.
And not to sound non-PC, but that would be retarded.
It's always retarded.
All right.
But that being said, though, what will really help get him over, and you're hearing this from me now, if they make Roman defend the title every other week on Raw, that will get that process started. Because A, it's been a long time since we actually seen the Universal title on Raw. B, we
Mm-hmm.
don't see it defended on Raw either. And by Roman doing both of those two things, that'll start everyone getting behind him. Whether it's as a heel, whether it's a babyface, it'll get something more than just pure hatred from him.
Okay. But back to your point with adding more titles as well, you definitely need to think about the same thing for the women.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Because
they
the
definitely-
women, all 25, 30, however many women are on the main roster, they're vying for one title per
And
show.
can we just say poor Becky Lynch?
Yes.
Yeah.
Becky is going to obscurity.
I'm really
Don't
upset
really
about
care
the way
for
they treated Becky too. I was really upset about that.
Don't really care for her. She's boring to me.
Wow.
Well, for a while there, I was right there with you, Jay Rich. Yes, I am a Sasha hater, but I love the way she works. I will say that. Becky, I was the same way before I became this way about Sasha. I was the same way with Becky. I thought she was boring. All she does is a bunch of kicks. Bexploder. 5 Moves of Doom. I mean, that's basically what she is. She's 5 Moves of Doom. But
Mhm.
I feel that way about Sasha. Like, sometimes I see her matches on and I just grab a pillow and lay down on the couch and take a nap. Hopefully it'll be over by the time I wake up.
yeah, yeah, I can say that I agree. And like, let me talk about some of the women who are not really talked about that much. Let's go to Natty real quick. The veteran Natty.
Mm,
I like Natty.
Boring. Right.
I
Boring.
like Natty.
I love her. I don't like her as a heel. She's not a good convincing heel to me.
I think she's been underappreciated her whole career. And they're going to miss her when she's gone.
definitely. But I mean, I think that, like you said, some people are just not faces, and people underestimate how much hard work it takes to really be over it as a face in this generation. But there's some people who just shouldn't be face, and Natty is one of those people. Like I said, the same thing for Orton earlier. It shouldn't be face. And I think that it just kind of ruins their character. Sasha Banks in that same category should not ever be a face ever. Once she does her turn, they need to keep her as heel. Nia Jax is finally going to get her push as a face, but for you to be an over face, you really have to be able to relate to the crowd in this generation, and you're going to have to step up your mic work. And I don't know how much Nia Jax's mic work is going to get her over as a face once she does become champion. But, I mean, I don't want to get off topic again when it comes to that. I definitely agree should be more titles all around. But also, I just feel like everybody should care about the titles that they win. I mean, we've got a lot of people who have won mid-card titles and not put the effort into it as The Miz has with mid-card reigns. And that was even before The Miz was a world champion. He treated the mid-card title like a world champion. There's not really a lot of guys who approach it that same way. There wasn't guys who approached the tag team titles that same way. And you can even see it now. Like, it's, you got the guys who really cherish that whole division, like with guys that I mentioned before. But I mean, for it really to be good all around, everybody's got to treat their division, their championship, as if they were main eventing.
I think that's where you had to respect John Cena when he had the U.S. title. I think, he really did carry it, and he was proud of it, even if he really wasn't in real life. I mean, you couldn't tell. And I think that's when you talk about people, such as, Randy Orton, I think people give him a lot of flack saying that when, you could tell when he's going to lose and stuff like that. To me, it's just, we need more. I mean, We just need more.
Absolutely. Definitely can agree on that one. But I definitely want to see exactly where they're going to go with a lot of these storylines. We're going to definitely follow up with some more WrestleMania on future episodes. But I think that we can definitely carry on future episodes here. I want to go ahead and go into our final thought for the night. For me personally, I think it just kind of carries over off of what we were just saying. I think that I really don't look at wrestling the way that I looked at it as a kid, and not just because of, you just being more invested because you're a kid and you're more gullible. I think that, now I just see that everybody is just in it for the glory, and I want to see other people just treat their own division, their own TV time as if they're main event, and I think it would make the whole product better. But that's all I have for the fun tonight. We'll move on to Gotti. What you got for us tonight?
Well, I mentioned it around the start of the show. The Wrestling Observer newsletter presented their annual awards for the top wrestlers and top matches of the year. Just to go through some of them. The Wrestler of the Year went to Kakuchika Okada from New Japan Pro Wrestling. Number 2 is Kenny Omega, and number 3 is Tetsuya Naito. So the top 3 are from New Japan. Number 4 is AJ Styles as an honorable mention.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna go through some of these, not everything though, but when it becomes controversial, I'm pretty sure everyone's gonna jump in. But Tag Team of the Year, the top 1 goes to the Young Bucks. It's their 4th year in a row. Number 2 are the Usos, and number 3 are War Machine. Honorable mentions go to The Bar.
So New Day doesn't even make the top 4.
No. Match
I
of the
forgot
year.
about War Machine.
I forgot about.
Yeah,
I forgot about War Machine.
Yep.
Sorry.
They put in work. The match of the year goes to Okada versus Omega at Wrestle Kingdom 11.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 goes to Okada versus Omega at Dominion 6/11. And number 3 goes to Okada versus Shibata at a April 9th
Who made
show.
this list?
Dave Meltzer. WWE is not in the match of the year top 5.
What was the top WWE match?
It wasn't there. They only showed the top 5.
Wow.
Somebody's got a New Japan heart on.
That's been rumor. The best
Jeez.
technical wrestler, number 1 goes to Zack Sabre Jr., which I agree with.
Wholeheartedly, yes.
For those that don't know, Zack Sabre Jr. is an astounding technical wrestler. If you haven't had a chance to watch any of his matches, just watch it. Like, you will be amazed by some of the things he does.
He's an amazing counter wrestler. And I don't know if that's something that people know much about that watch WWE, but he is amazing. When he was part of that tournament, I was hoping that they were going to sign him.
Mm-hmm.
I was
and if you get John Gotti on more, you'll definitely hear more about stuff like that. But that's besides the point. Number 2 is Kushida, and number 3 is Hideki Suzuki. Honorable mentions, number 4 is Marty Scurll, and number 5 is the Bruiserweight.
The villain.
He's
I was pretty
good.
sure.
Sorry, I really like
no
Marty
one would be.
Scurll. I will campaign for him. Marty Scurll, bring him. WWE right now. Thank you.
Best flying wrestler, number 1 goes to Will Ospreay. Can't disagree with that. Number 2 is Ricochet. I'm okay with this 1-2 combination.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
if they would have said anybody other than Ricochet at number 2, I'd have been upset.
Yeah.
So, the next one. Here comes the controversy. Most overrated.
I know who you're going to say because I already read this article earlier.
Number 1.
Overrated.
The modern day Maharaja.
Oh my God.
No way.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, it's true. It's true.
Dang true.
Damn
Number
true.
2 is Mr.
Wow.
himself.
He did the big dog.
Dog! Well, I didn't do that all show. Wow, thank you for reminding me about that.
The big dog.
Shout outs to Ross Trudell from Cultaholics too for coming up with that. If you haven't had a chance, watch some of his WTF moments for Raw. It is hilarious. Number 3 is Baron Corbin.
Wow, that's okay. This list is over.
Number 4, Cody.
This list is it's terrible.
The most underrated. Number 5 was The Miz and Bray Wyatt. They're a tie, but
For overrated?
overrated.
Oh, this
Wow.
is
Next.
Most underrated. Number 1. It's Rusev Day.
Is it in English or Rusev?
Rusev.
Rusev.
I just want to make sure.
He's about to get triggered real fast. Number 2 is Tomohiro Ishii. I don't know if anyone knows who that is, but he's from New Japan. Number 3, Finn Balor.
Disagree.
Number 4, Sami Zayn.
Definitely disagree. Oh my god. Trash.
And number 5 is Cassius. Oh no. Oh no.
They're not underrated, man. They just
Mm,
Sammy is just trash.
Other people to mention for Rookie of the Year, Bianca Belair was number 3 in that list.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Okay.
Here's
Okay.
one that's going to be interesting. The best non-wrestler of 2017. Number 1. Yes.
Paul Heyman.
Yes!
No way.
I
Yes!
was thinking.
Oh
Yes!
my god. He was
Yes!
trash.
Yes!
too.
He's not even on screen enough to be the best
Right.
non-wrestler.
Oh my
What?
god.
Number 2,
That's-
Zelina Vega.
She's been good.
She wrestles.
She
doesn't
doesn't
really
wrestle.
wrestle though.
She
just does a
manages.
few.
She just
She
does the
a few
Hurricane.
Hurricanranas, yeah.
She basically did what Lita did when she first started.
Right.
Fun
just
fact.
a few Hurricanranas.
Number
I mean, I'll
3,
give her credit.
ladies and gentlemen, my name is
He should be
Paul
number 1.
Right, that should have been number 1. That's the first name I thought of.
Yeah. I mean, how else would I have gotten the conqueror of his own destiny?
I know. But that was 2 years ago, sir.
Hey.
Best
Still-
TV
Still
announcer,
makes sense.
number 1,
Oh.
Mauro
Byron
Ronaldo.
Tomorrow.
How dare you say something like that? Byron Saxton is in the top 5 for worst TV announcers.
Who's number 1?
Booker T.
Hulk Hogan, we coming after you, ninja!
Really?
He is the worst
Booker?
TV announcer. I agree with that because he has been terrible. Terrible.
Who's the
Yeah.
best? Who'd you say the best was?
Mauro Ronaldo.
Mauro.
Number 2 for best, Corey Graves.
He's gotten better.
He's gotten
Uh,
better. I wouldn't put him in the tops.
Number
I'm
2
glad-
for worst
I mean, I'm
TV
glad he's a
announcer
terrible
is
wrestler.
Percy Watson.
Oh yeah, he's terrible.
Number 3 is JBL. Number 4 is Matt Stryker. And Mr. Saxton takes number 5.
Whoa,
That's
wait.
still
Yeah.
announcing somewhere.
Wait. Did we just say JBL was one of the worst?
Yep.
Wow.
The IWC is mad at JBL for the whole Morrow situation still.
For those who
Um,
disagree with this list, make sure you put it down in the comments. Like and subscribe.
Yeah, definitely. Wow.
The worst.
Tell them where they can listen to us at.
You can listen to us on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play Music, and any and all sound podcast application on your Android or Apple devices.
Yeah.
So, the worst major wrestling show. So we're talking about pay-per-views for 2017. Number 1, Battleground. Completely agree. With
Punjabi prison match.
Exactly.
Oh, that was trash. Yeah.
But I think J Rich rated that higher than
He did rate
Survivor
that one higher.
Series.
He did rate that one higher than Survivor Series.
And that's why I don't be knowing.
Number 4, just to go through some of the WWE ones. There's a lot of them actually. Number 4, WrestleMania 33.
Who was that? That's the
That
Goldberg
was the Goldberg one. That was Roman versus Undertaker.
one? Yeah, that was trash.
Number 5, Payback.
Mm.
Number 6, Backlash. Number 7, Clash of Champions. Number 8, Roadblock End of the Line. Number 9, Survivor Series.
That low. It's so terrible. It was actually pretty good, I thought.
The best wrestling move. So we're talking about finishers.
We know the Styles Clash isn't on there.
The Style Clash is not on there as top
It
5.
better not be.
You mean the face breaker as well?
So what?
The face breaker.
I mentioned that on the last show that she used it as, I couldn't remember the name, the face
Yes,
breaker.
the face breaker.
Yes.
Yes, that was the name of the Style
Yes.
Clash from Michelle McCool.
Yes, sir.
Oh my god.
So for those that don't know, you just got learned. The best wrestling move
And
of 2017. I see what you did there. The best move of 2017 is the one-winged angel, Kenny Omega.
Yeah, it's a good move. It's a good move.
Number 2, the Rainmaker from Katsuyori Okada.
Okay.
Number 3 is Destino from Tetsuya Naito, which is a really good move, actually, if you haven't had a chance to look at it. Number 4, Kenny Omega made the list again with the V-Trigger.
Yeah, V-Trigger's good.
Yeah, I like the V-Trigger.
And number 5, the Doc's favorite move, the Black Mass.
Oh, that's a
Yes.
good. Yeah, he's been killing it.
Yes. You want to know something that will,
Finally.
you want to know something that really throw you guys off is who I think they probably should have been in that top 5?
Oh boy.
What was
If you tell
that?
me Roman Reigns with the spear, I'm hanging up.
Yeah, this show is over.
This is, I'm telling you, this is going to blow your minds, but I think that Baron Corbin's end of days should have been in the top 5.
Wow.
I would
You-
put Deep Six over in the days, in my opinion.
Deep Six is pretty good. I like the end of days though.
I like the end of days. I think that if we were just doing strictly WWE, that would definitely be in the top 5.
That'd be
Yeah.
top 5, no doubt. Top 5, dead or alive.
And that's just off one LP.
The worst match of 2017. Bray
Kevin
Wyatt
Owens
versus Randy Orton at WrestleMania.
Wow.
Yes.
I can agree with that one.
Number 2,
Yes, I can.
Bray Wyatt versus
Oh.
Randy Orton House of Horrors match.
Oh my god.
How in the world do you stop and shave on the way to the ring,
Yeah.
Randy?
How are you
How do
still
you
alive?
stop and shave on the way to the ring with your lying non-Hollywood selves?
You got a
Playing.
refrigerator. You got a refrigerator dumped on you in that match. How are you still alive?
Number 4, Alexa Bliss versus Bailey kendo stick on a pole match.
Trash.
It wasn't great, but it wasn't that bad. It wasn't top 5. It was bad.
And number
Yes, it
5, Randy Orton versus the modern day Maharaja in the Punjabi prison match.
CAS. Wait.
The only thing that I could say that I actually liked about that was him using Kali, even though Kali's trash too. It was just
But it was-
he put it out of his
Big
bag.
stomach hand. Pow.
It was whack because of Google releasing that he was backstage 10 minutes before
10 minutes,
the show.
even the week before, not even 10 minutes.
It was
It was
ridiculous.
just it was a long time before it happened, and that could have made a difference. I mean, it was still a trash match. I mean,
It was
but it could have made a difference. It could have made a difference if everybody didn't know Kali was there.
Shout out to Gender's theme music though. At least that's pretty good.
It was pretty good. The best gimmicks. I'm not going to say number 1 because that's New Japan. I don't think people really care. But number 2, Velveteen Dream.
Oh, yeah, he needs-
D-R-E-A-M.
He needs to be pushed all the way to the top.
He's definitely top 5 gimmick because I thought that gimmick was going to be super garbage, and now it's just like I can't see him being anybody else right now. Right? That's
Say
it.
his name.
Say it. You gotta say it.
Say
gotta say his
my
name.
name. Number 3.
Love.
Too sweet. Woo woo. Too sweet. Woo woo. It's the villain. Marty Scurll. Number 4.
Once again.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say once again, bring this man to WWE. That's all.
He'll be great for the UK division too. He'll be great for the UK division.
He'll be great in any division.
But I don't think
Except the
WWE's ready
women's
for a villain quite of this caliber.
Oh yes, we are.
No,
Bring him.
no, they're really not. Because they won't book him
Yes,
right. That's why.
bring him. No, he needs to go to NXT. Him, Aleister Black. Thank you.
Mm.
Yeah, that'd be a good feud right there. Number 4. The Elite. The Elite. The Elite. The Elite. And number 5. Well, you know, sometimes we like to talk about it, but other times we just have to make a slideshow. It is Drew Gulak.
Oh, wow.
That's a curveball. I can't say that I disagree, but that wouldn't have been a name that I would have thought they would have put in the top 5.
So 2 more, and I'm finished. Worst gimmick of 2017. What is number 1? It is Bray Wyatt and Sister Abigail.
Hold on, wait, what's this category?
Worst gimmick.
Worst gimmick.
It would have been good if it was actually a Sister Abigail. Like I said, if they would have just used Crazy Mary, it would have been all good.
Rosemary.
It would have been all good.
If it's a wrestling role, they could have used Ruby Riott before she debuted.
Or Nikki
It would have been all
Cross,
good.
who is
That's-
NXT waifu.
That's Crazy Mary.
I know.
That's what I'm saying. Like it would have been this. It would have been all good, but they unless they still spin it and she's just insanity. I mean, it still would work, but
Which, by the way, she is absolutely beautiful.
I mean, I guess that sells.
No, when she's not acting like a deranged person.
Sells like. Roman,
Anywho,
because-
number 2,
Shut up.
Jason Jordan as Kurt Angle's son.
yeah, that's pretty dumb.
And they even forgot to mention him
Yes.
when they were talking about Kurt's kids.
hmm
I think that
4,
gimmick would have
5.
did better if they actually focused on it.
It was terrible.
If they actually focused on it, they would have did better. But they announced that he was Kurt's son, and then they didn't do anything with it.
Numero
It does have him whining to daddy.
Hilarious. Numero 3. It's Ziggles, Dolph Ziggler.
Trash.
No one's gonna argue
But he
that.
doesn't really have a gimmick. I guess that in itself is
that-
why
That's
it
the
should
problem. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's terrible.
Number 4, the modern day Maharaja.
disagree.
I don't
Please.
even know what that means. I really don't. I don't even know what. Like,
It's just like saying Maharaja.
I mean,
It means Prince.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand why the gimmick is a failure. I mean, unless they're talking about the 2 guys that are with him.
Yeah, that gimmick definitely that elevated his career. I mean, you can't put that in the top 5 for worst gimmicks.
Oh my
This
god.
is the opinions of the people who voted for the
They didn't
Wrestling
ask us,
Observer.
apparently.
I was gonna say they didn't ask us. But, I mean, yeah.
I'm not going to agree or disagree
Honest on the
that
camera
certain people
on
on this
Facebook.
panel didn't vote this year, but number 5, Mike Kanellis.
Yeah, That was kind of whack.
He didn't really have any TV time though. I mean, that was short.
They stole
It
a
was
lot of
short-lived.
time.
It was very short lived. I mean,
And that's why it failed.
Yeah, it was dumb.
yeah. I like the theme song though. I think that's the only thing that I really liked about
I think
them.
that's what everyone liked. Was just the theme song.
They were weird.
I was
And
just like
and the
thing.
final category, and I'll stop to let everyone else get their final thoughts. Best documentary, number 1, Ric Flair 30 for 30.
Yeah,
Completely agree.
definitely was good.
Missed
Number-
it. Sorry.
Oh, you can always check it
I
out.
won't get it. I won't
Yeah,
get it. It's
yeah, you
on
can
my
find it.
to-do list.
You
Yeah.
can find it. That's good.
Trust me, it's on the to-do list.
She's like, I'm about to watch this after the show.
Right now.
Number 2, Bruiser Brody, The Last Wrestling Rebel.
I don't know about that one. I have to check that one out.
Number 3, Fight Owens Fight.
Wait, where are these documentaries on?
Was that on WWE's?
Yeah,
I think that's a DVD.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
I,
that's the
I
DVD.
watched.
That's a
I
DVD.
watched 2 of his.
Number 4, WWE 365 with Kevin Owens.
That's the one I watched. I
Mm.
watched that. It was pretty dope.
And number 5, WWE 24, Finn Balor.
I did watch that one.
I watched that one too. It was pretty dope too.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That's one
Hey
thing.
guys,
WWE
I'm sorry. I'm not a documentary person.
No worries.
I can understand that. I did check that one out though.
They always do those well.
That's it for me.
I can't disagree with that list. That's a solid list for documentaries. All right, well, Doc, what you got for us?
So my final thought is actually from Fastlane pre-show. I know a lot of people might have missed it. It was a very, very weird moment. I definitely want to get thoughts on it. There was a part where the fans were chanting to Mojo Rawley, "You can't wrestle." And he said, "You think I care about wrestling?" How ridiculous does that sound?
Yeah, it sounds pretty stupid when you say it out loud.
I don't know if it was like if he said it by accident or what, but it was just like, what?
There's no accidents.
Like I would have
Maybe
It was weird.
Maybe he meant you think I care about you.
Yeah, but he was like, "You think I care about wrestling?" And I was just like, "Oh."
I think he's more concerned with trying to hurt people because I think he is healed now.
He
Don't care either way. Yeah, I think that's what he meant. Like, I don't care about wrestling. I'm just here to hurt people. That sort of thing. I'm hoping. Because,
You got to finish that one up.
It just threw me off because I was sitting there and I was trying to give them, my attention for 20 minutes that Booker T could have talked through, and the modern day Maharaja could have been both the number one contender and champion at the same time. I was trying to work my way through that, and then I'm listening, and the fans have a big, impression on the matches these days, and they're like, "You can't wrestle," clap, 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 and he's like, "You think I care about wrestling?" And I was just like, "Oh man."
Well, tell us how you really feel.
Yeah, it just kind of threw me off. So, I mean, hopefully, if it was a mistake, they correct it, or if it was done on purpose, they fine tune it a little bit because it was trash.
Mojo Rawley's going to be fired.
Brother
I
Raleigh, you are been rendered obsolete. You're deleted.
They tried.
Ah.
I mean, honestly, he's gonna need a shield.
He needs a Gronk. Go to XFL.
That's gonna be whack.
Go to
But I
XFL.
think somebody did mention that he would be like the first person called to the XFL. I mean, unless he has a felony of some sort, of course.
I believe that was.
That's if he retires
that
or
was,
whatever.
that was Joe.
Yeah, he did say that. But that's all I had. I mean, I think, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I don't like the name of the new NXT title that they introduced. I thought that was pretty stupid. But that's neither here nor there. At least they introduced the title. I guess beggars can't be choosy. I did ask for a new title, and they gave us one. But the name was just weird.
Mention that.
It was just weird. Very strange. North Atlantic? Is that what it is?
Yep.
What's North Atlantic? WCW territory?
I don't know.
It's the gnaw, man. It's the gnaw.
Wow. But yeah, that's it for me. I mean, I don't know. The beer's starting to weigh me down.
I don't know
Well, for
why
our
I'm now
special
thinking of Mike Kanellis' theme song now. Thank you very much.
That song was dope. Oh my god. That song was so dope. And people judge me for liking that song.
I mean,
That song is so
Rey Mysterio from last week.
Yes.
Who's that jumping out? Yeah.
Here we go.
Oh God. Well, that's it for me, sir.
All right, so for our special guest, Lady Great, Toya, what you got for us? Just a final thought. Just throw anything out there that's on your mind, wrestling related.
Okay. Well, first of all, thanks, guys. This has been great. It's hilarious. I love this, and I hope I get invited back again soon. My final thought is that the women need to stop pulling so much hair and ponytails. If you're going to use them, be like Belair. Pull up and square up like Sonya Deville. You know? That's what I got to say about that. Yeah, I had to pull out the Sonya Deville there because I am a huge fan of her. And I'm even more so because of the fact that she openly came out. I don't know if anybody else paid attention to it. She is an openly gay female wrestler.
Yep.
And that just brought her to another level with me because it takes a lot of courage and a lot of confidence to not deny who you are.
Absolutely.
As a person, and my respect level just went up for her just the same way it did for Darian Young when he came out, even though he was rendered obsolete. But regardless of that, I admire her for doing what she did, and yeah, just I can't wait to see what's going to happen over these next 3 weeks to build up to Mania. So
absolutely. You know what? I think we're going to follow with another episode next week. We're going to run it back to back.
all right, same time, same place.
Same
Follow
time,
us.
same channel. Absolutely. Follow us. Join us. Come talk wrestling with us.
I don't think we can use
Be our
join
brother.
us. We can't use join us, unfortunately. That's a trademark for a cultaholic now.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry.
Like really?
Come talk wrestling with us.
That was Scott telling me that from the booth.
I mean, you could just say
You're all invited.
Party with us.
maybe mark out with us.
Mark out with us. I like that.
Mark
I
out
like
with our friends.
Amongst friends. You all
Hey, that too.
mark out amongst our friends.
Roll credits.
And that'll do it, guys. Great episode. I had fun doing this one. Definitely enjoyed having Toya. We got to have her back. I love having that female opinion. And we're gonna run this one back. Until then, this has been Marking Out Amongst Friends. You guys have a great night.
At least we know that Roman's cute now.
Ha. Goodbye. Mwah. And good night.